Hello, everybody, and welcome to this little impromptu stream. But we have some news to talk about. But for the first time, so thank you for everybody who's here. But for the first time, I'm not by myself. I have a special guest, a fellow creator, and hopefully it's the first time of many. But let's bring in my co-host for today, Kane, who you would know as Chronicle Ghoul. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course, of course. I'm like, we got some awesome news, some images. We're going to go through a whole article, and it's going to be great to go through it alongside you. I mean, you've done probably the best lore videos in the business right now. So it's yeah, man, it'll be a good chat.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll beat me pretty soon.
Oh, no way, no way, no way. But as well as it being our first unholy crossover, as I'm calling it, this is actually the
Wonderful.
first of a live stream series that we're gonna call SKELETÁLK. So obviously play on the name Skeleata for the upcoming album. Chronicle came up with that. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, me too. You could have taken all the credit for the name. You made the logo and all this stuff in front of me, and this is my first live stream I've ever done. So this is fascinating.
Everybody say hi to Chronicle and thank you guys for being here. There's already 60. Come on in, come on
Goodness.
in. Let's keep filing
Hello,
in
everyone.
here. Because today class is in session. We're gonna read, okay? I know we don't really like to read,
Oh, reading.
but and I'll do the reading, okay? I have a cough today, so please excuse me, guys, if you hear me cough. But don't worry, I'll read, guys. So
We did make an agreement that if he, coughs and falls over dead, I get restoration of his channel and all the rights.
oh my god,
I take the name. I take everything.
he'll be segundo. Okay, okay, yeah. Because currently I feel like the 70-year-old primo, but
70's
but yeah.
generous.
Oh my god. Let's see who's in here. We got Metal John, Wretched Goulet, Laura, Tim Plummer, Ecliptic, Proxy, Ryu, Sally, AJ, Alessa. There's so many of you guys. Like, thank you for showing
AJ
up.
relevancy. That's my little thing. Don't mean to disrupt anything. That's Aurora, who I made my first ever video for.
Oh,
That's the
nice.
person. Yeah, she's great.
She's the reason for all of it. Nice.
Apparently.
Hey, somebody said, Ecliptic says, someone said my name right for once. Hey, that's what we're here for. Normally, I mispronounce everything, but I'll take this one. I'll take this one. Let's see here. All right. Gamers Gaming says, hey, y'all. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
But yeah, so as you guys saw earlier today, we had images drop and a whole article inside of Rolling Stone UK. So let me bring up this issue here that just came
British
out.
people. I'd never be one of them.
So not Rolling Stone US, because that confused me for a little bit. I was on the digital edition of Rolling Stone, and I'm like, I'm not seeing this. What are people talking about? Apparently, I didn't know that there's a UK version of the magazine.
I didn't know there was a UK version. I went straight to Rolling Stone US, and I was like, where is it?
I'm like freaking Christian, but where are they?
Where are they?
Oh my god! But yeah, after a lot of trials and tribulations, this is the magazine right here. Obviously, I got the digital edition. I'm not trying to take trying to fold the paper right and take the proper image with good light. No, we ain't doing all that.
Too much effort.
Yeah, just give me the HD. Come on, I'll throw you a few bucks. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna go through the entire article. It's a pretty lengthy article for something that wasn't a cover story. It's pretty lengthy. So, but that's where we got all these new images. Which let me just flash some of the images on screen in case anybody didn't get to see them earlier. Since we were looking at this one, here's that one. My favorite. It's this one, and yes, It's because of the wings, and I know that we had wings on, Papa
God,
4,
yeah.
but come on. At this point, that's like Timu wings com- compared to what we got this time. So I do think it's an upgrade. Like it's not
It
exactly
looks
the same.
more bestial.
Yeah,
Um, like the top one does look like a guy, in a costume, but obviously like a great costume. I love those wings. That bottom
yeah,
one looks like that's a godless creature right there.
yeah. And obviously more of him in the regalia, the full regalia, even though it's a little bit different. So it's not the same exact ones we've seen before. Now we finally get the HD of the glitter mask. So he's gonna have different variations on the mask.
A different mitre.
Yep. And then here's like a more stylized close-up look at that same outfit right there. And then the last
This good Lord
one
Papa.
is the top hat look with the solid mask. It's not glitter. Very reminiscent to, let's see if I got it right here, the one from the Skeletor, the top hat right there on the right.
Hmm.
So yeah, we finally got that look
I was
introduced
definitely
a little bit.
unsure of the hat when I first saw it, but I think that's just because like everything was obviously like purple washed. I didn't realize it would be this like dark kind of. It definitely looks better seeing it, not obviously in full because we don't see how high it is, but it looks fantastic. And those claws.
Yeah, I love his metal gauntlets that he's got. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Like, come on,
I feel so
man.
bad for any ghost artist who's like, I want to make fan art of the new Pepper. It's
Yeah,
like, oh no.
yeah. Good luck. Um, but yeah. So let's begin because, like I said, this article is pretty long. It's got a lot of good information. I haven't even read through all of it because I kind of wanted to, I just skimmed it as I was obviously putting the slides together. But let's begin here. Let's right before we do. Oh my god, 26 comments in. Jesus. You guys are
Goodness
animals.
gracious.
Talk amongst yourselves, talk to us. Obviously, I don't know if we'll get to everything, but another
I
ecliptic. What was that?
I love the both the ecliptic one of honestly I understand procrastinating from so much detail. But also I'm not sure if it's pronouncing this right. Misha Bar, he needs the hat. Without the hat, he's a little bit short.
Oh my god. Gage says, my favorite Papa is still one, so my favorite is the second one. My favorite is Segundo. We were just discussing Papa One a little before we went
The
live.
preamble.
We'll probably save that for a stream that kind of warrants those
General talk.
combos we were getting into. But Wretched Gula, you could even see his heart-shaped little nose.
Yeah, right.
Let me see. Let me see. I got to see this heart-shaped little nose before we start. Let's see. Oh my god. Okay. All
You
right.
can see
Let's
it super
start.
well in the one with the hat.
One
Like
with
you
the
can see
hat.
even
Let
like
me
yeah, the
see.
one with the it's you can see the bends on the top as well.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
I'm also a professional Tobias Forge starer, so I understand.
One of us is, so that's why we had to have this man on board. So, you know, that's why he's here. That's the only reason. All right. Let's begin. Let me take this comment off the screen. All right. Like I said, we'll try to talk to you guys, but we got a lot of article to go through. So it says Ghost, how the Phantom of Rock conquered the charts. I like that already. With his fascination and love with the Phantom of the
Phantom.
Opera.
Yeah.
So it will come up later in some other slides we got. But it says newly anointed frontman of Swedish band Ghost, Papa 5 Perpetua, aka Tobias Forge, chats about stepping out of character, the death of Ghost, and how pop music shaped new album Skeleata. I'm sure some fans won't want to hear that. By Zoya Raza Sheik and photography by Jennifer McCord. And obviously, all this
Beautiful
is
photography.
by Rolling Stone UK. So let's continue here. On stage, Papa 5 Perpetua is a devilish maestro decked out in corpse paint, an enigmatic showman assembling a zany rock opera with his legion of incognito backing musicians known as the Nameless Ghouls. The frontman revels in grandeur, big theatrics, and sprawling songs dealing with the occult, demons, and devastation, running a carousel of dark characters. Ghost anonymously delivered spectacular pyroclad performances until 2017, when a court case unraveled the true identity of their Catholic-style zombie pope, Tobias Forge. Unrattled, he pushed onwards, reinventing his spooky image with every lore-laden album cycle. All right. I mean,
I
just right
suppose,
there, man, they got a lot of
yeah,
interesting wording that this writer already put into this article.
just the phrase Catholic style zombie pope is something you would never really see anywhere else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, wow, you had a lot of interesting combination of words here.
Mm,
But I do also like, calling it a rock opera, like we had just said. He's a huge fan of, Phantom of the Opera, and in a way,
mm.
that's how you can kind of perceive these, rituals or concerts. It's kind of like musical theater in a way. That's why, at least in my opinion, he does all the different outfits on stage, and just it's I think it's that part of him, his love of musical theater, coming out, sharing it with people there live. And I love it, man. I love that it could
Oh
become
yeah,
more of like a show like that than just a standard
it's
concert.
exactly, and it's so incredibly unique that there's not many maybe other than Gua actually, because like some bands do have the whole like costume aesthetic, like Lordi, Gua,
Yeah.
Here Come the Mummies. Um, but Ghost, I think, steps it up so far above because they have like set design too of like the
Hmm.
stained glass windows. The When I saw them at Download 2023, they spent so long assembling where the drums are on top of, like the steps up that Copia steps up during
Yeah.
Spillways. No, what's that one? It's the sound of another deadline whistling pet. I can't call myself a ghost nerd and forget the name of the song.
My God,
It's over for
and
me.
yeah, and I'm bandwagoning, not forgetting as
Paradise
well.
is
Oh my
lost.
God.
Go straight to Kaiserion. It's Kaiserion. I
Yeah,
remember
Kaiser.
now.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. Oh my God.
I barely beat you to it, Ecliptic P. Almost.
Jesus Christ. Oh my Lord. But yeah, I mean, your point there on the staging as well. In this For this particular tour, the like the biggest packages, VIPs, whatever you call it,
Hmm.
it's not even meet and greet with the band. It's you get to walk around the stage and take pictures. That's it.
And also the museum that they have. I
Yeah,
unfortunately couldn't get that high up on the VIP, but oh god,
exactly. So
oh I wish.
it's just gonna go. It's probably gonna be next level again. Like that. That's also what I just want. I can't wait to find out is what is the stage for this era, and especially like right now, this Skeletor look like that.
Yeah,
That was the perk in itself. One of the biggest perks was here. You just get to explore and stand on the stage and take pictures because basically we know it's gonna be so elaborate that you're gonna want to do that. So that already screams that to me, and like that's so exciting.
exactly. And like the veneration of relics, just as an idea
Yeah,
too, of where all the dead papas are. That's fantastic.
thank thankfully Papa Four's not in there. So
His robes might be,
oh yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right.
which would be interesting.
All right, let's see. I feel the honor of doing this because you never know if you ever get to do it again. Forge says solemnly over a video call. It's
To
early
make this
afternoon.
easier to break up, would you like me to read the quotes and you read the
Yeah,
writing?
that works.
Solid.
All right. So it's early afternoon on a February day in Sweden, and the musician has been zipping through press duties, including a Rolling Stone UK shoot a week earlier, which I'm assuming are the pictures we're seeing here,
Hmm.
in London, in your neck of the woods, seemingly unperturbed by the
Bit more
release
south.
of explosive new album Skeleata. Instead, his mind is elsewhere. Uh, Pro League Swedish hockey.
I'm struggling with missing out as much as everybody else, but I know that I'm going to be away a lot. We have tickets for my hockey team, Linköping HC.
He says, laughing.
I'm about to miss the playoffs. I need to see at least one home game.
this, this is hilarious. Because also recently online, like some of the images are like, oh my god, look, he's resurfaced. It was like him at a hockey
Oh,
game.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's just funny to read this now in the article where it's like, man, I guess he did catch that
He got
home
there
game.
eventually.
Let's see. Soaking up his time back in Stockholm, where he lives, the singer admits his everyday life is far removed from the souped up shows he throws under the guise of his fiendish cosplay counterpart. Instead, he's a self labeled, domesticated family man.
My trick is not to think about it too much, because if I do, it feels a bit daunting at times.
He says,
The character is fueled on a quite large degree of spontaneity. If I start thinking too much about who is who, it becomes a little bit of a mindfuck. I choose not to think about it too much, so that he will only appear when it's time to go.
Forge has been settling into the chalky skin of Ghost for nearly 20 years, first
I feel
emerging
that.
in. That's crazy. First emerging in 2006, the band's eccentric fusion sound took hold in Forge's native Linköping. I think
Link shipping, yeah.
Linköping. There you go, in southern Sweden. Here, the singer was a youthful experimentalist. Oh my god, blending everything from stage music to black metal.
With saying that, I always do wonder: do you reckon Tobias would ever go back to his repugnant style of singing, which was way more obviously heavy and um well, throat scratchy to say the least?
I honestly think I can safely say no,
Yeah.
and I think it's because I think that was him like thinking that's what he had to do in terms of like with the black metal and all that.
Mm.
But I think this project specifically and why he's like so thankful for it and why that this it took off is I think this is how he wants to perform. At least that's my perspective or like my opinion from like things I've read, things I've seen. So I don't think he even wants to. But I could
I
be wrong.
I think I'd agree. Um, because as well, he came back as Mary God, didn't he, for one song? The Man in, I forget the name of the artist that he did it with. Under the Spell is the song, great
Yeah,
song, and it was more Subvision Mary God rather than Repugnant Mary God.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it's just a shame to see that style go.
Yeah, I mean,
I love those songs.
I guess in a little I believe I still have the slides here. Some I kind of before hearing satanized, I thought maybe there was a chance because if you really look at, let's see, I have it here. This font that we use for the SKELETÁLK and everything, I mean, it's from that Epitome of
Epitome of Darkness.
Darkness
Yeah.
Repugnant album. I mean, then you see like the theme very similar right here. These two cover albums with the skeletons, but that font is like when everybody was
One
seeing
to one.
the 5 is coming, V is coming. That's literally the font. So he brought the font
Yeah.
back because we haven't seen that font throughout the entire history of Ghost, not that I remember until now. So
I think it is either one of two things, because it is also wise to remember that we have seen quite a lot of Perpetua, which is unusual because normally when we first see a Papa, we hear the Papa. We hear how they speak, not how they sing.
yeah,
With Perpetua, it's not been like that at all. There is the fan theory that Perpetua is somehow Mary Gore, and Repugnant Epitome of Darkness CD was in the Ghost store recently, and then mysteriously taken off. It's almost like, with how much I would say Ghost fans, but myself, dig into things trying to find any scrap of lore. It, it's
yeah,
it's it's like this teasing, or yeah, it's fantastic though. Or he just likes the font, really. It's a cool
right,
looking
right.
font.
We're like, what's the story purpose, the story reason? So some people were telling me in the comments of the video showing these images, they're like, but what's the story reason for the wings? It's like, I said I think it's like I explained I just think he's a fan of musical theater and he loves outfit changes and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I think Right Here, Right Now made that clear as well, with
you
them
know,
showing every background costume change.
no wonder he's like, the lore is ending. Shut up. So we don't he doesn't care anymore. He's like, stop, Chronicle, stop. All you guys, might as well
Oh,
delete your channels. It's gone.
I told my friend this. I'm convinced Tobias Forge knows me personally and hates me with a passion, because it seems every time I try to do something, he will do the opposite of that. I'm not paranoid. It's real.
Oh man, hey, you had tons of views on that first one, so you never know. One of those could have been him. So too bad he didn't leave a comment. His comment would have been like,
official ghost YouTube account. This sucks. Lol.
"Yeah, this is why lore is ending." ... Like God.
Sorry, Tobias. Yeah, it's
He's
my
like,
fault. The lore's ending.
even he's confused. Let's see. All right. The first
This is a
starts with you.
quote. When I wrote 2010 Stand By Him, I realized I could write a song that combined old new wave with adult-oriented rock and occultism and a little bit of West End.
He explains.
After that, I've always started a new record on what we have, a few songs lying around and a million different ideas.
See, I think this right away answers the whole your question about going back to Repugnant. I think not. I think like that. Look at that. Like he's already like he at any point he infuses pop or it's a new wave with rock and occultism with a little bit of West End because
Yeah.
he likes the melodies. He likes it's catchy and you know what? I think that's what helped Ghost take off. Like when I initially described it to people when I was first getting into it, it's like the Beatles but satanic. Like you know what I mean? It's like
Black Sabbath,
it,
like ABBA and Sabbath just meshed together.
exactly. It's catchy. It's got the melodies, got the hooks and stuff required to allow people to sing along, and then you don't even realize you're like singing about Satan. You're like, I don't care, dude. This sounds good.
Exactly,
So
and
it's like whatever.
some of the lyrics are written one way, but they sound different. Like
Yes.
Dance Macabre, it's like it sounds like just want to be with you in the moonlight, but it's bewitch you.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. Anytime he gets to like play with it like that, play with the wording, the words, how like you said, so how something sounds yet like it's this word, but it sounds like this word. Yet a casual person hearing it, it's be with you. They're like, oh, it's just so it's just yet the other person that's more like, give me the darkness. They're like, oh, he said bewitch you. So it's
Yeah,
just like I love that there's so
it's
many angles to look at it.
and like you can take it in as like in law, like people like the clergy slowly wrapping their fingers
Yes.
around the listener. The more you sing, the more you fall into like, yeah, bewitch you in the moonlight, bewitch you. And it's
Yeah.
the same with like people yelling "Hail Satan" when that's not the lyric; it's "Hell Satan."
Exactly. Oh my god. So it's love it, love it. Let's get in. Let's see a little bit of these comments because I feel bad. It said I had freaking ignored 50 of them or something like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Oh
I
my
keep on
god.
forgetting to look over. Very sorry.
Oh jeez. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, the most recent one, Wretched Ghoul. Dance Macabre was a song that hooked me for real because of the play on words. See, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, that old style of Repugnant, maybe it worked for what it was at the time, maybe. But it just I don't think they'd be where they're at today in that style. It has to be one that it would never have been a TikTok sensation that you know, they just had a couple years ago with that song. So
Mariana Cross. Yeah.
they Mariana Cross, exactly. But we digress.
Yeah. Year Zero was the one that hooked me. That opening chant of Belial,
Yeah.
Behemoth, Beelzebub. It's just like ugh, it's so good.
Jesus. I
And
can't
Aurora
wait to hear
saying this,
the
Warhammer, yeah.
darkest songs on this new album because I hope they go they go back to those more like darker ones or just
The darker
or
the
just
better.
The darker the better. Hey, got that little Spotify tease.
Another
Uh,
one when I
Another one
uploaded
that's
my
talking
video.
about
Thanks,
darker.
Tobias.
Could be Umbra or whatever it's called. And I'm like, bro, just
Yeah.
give it to me. So, all right, here we go. Since then, ghost earworm fusions. Oh my god, this is what we're talking about. They're just like, if you just kept reading,
We're
have been
jumping the gun.
nicknamed everything from a satanic modern rock rendition of ABBA. Okay. If we just kept reading to the parody of term Scooby
Scooby
Doo,
Doom. That's crazy.
I've never.
Scooby Doom.
Oh, that's great. However, as the band's cult-like following grew, Forge watched on as the ghoulish glam rock project quickly began to collect accolades. A Grammy in 2015 for Best Metal Performance, 4 top 10 albums, Perkel, Impera, Phantomime, and Right Here, Right Now in the UK, and achieving the highest grossing hard rock cinema event in North American history with Right Here, Right Now.
I've always been thinking about what we would do next. Always walking off the stage thinking about the next step, and that's been the end of every tour I've ever done with Ghost.
He says,
I'm always finishing a tour cycle thinking about the new record that I'm going to make, all the new places that we're going to play, and everything else I want to achieve.
and I love that right there where, like, I love that he's probably in his head 1 or 2 cycles ahead of, like, where they're currently at.
I
It's
definitely say more so now,
Yeah.
after things like Right Here, Right Now, and now that I think he's trying to nail the law down, like with some retcons that I assume are
might
controversial.
might be coming, yeah. Yeah. But it could be as well why, like you had said before we even went live, he could be starting to get mentally burnt out, and we kind of already, read a quote here where he's like, even just the simple thing of like, when am I papa? When am I, dad, husband? Yeah, okay, I can only be papa when it's go time. I can't think, because he's like, it's already a mind fuck. So imagine
Exactly, yeah.
that plus lore and all this stuff.
The
Because
movie, the comic, the
yeah,
album, the new set designs, everything on top of being, yeah, as you said, being a dad and wanting to go see hockey games. It, it's so much for one guy to be on under constantly.
and the fact he kind of writes the entire album, not just what we mean, like, song lyrics, but writing in terms of the guitar parts, the drum. At least that's what he makes it sound like. That he also kind of comes up with everything. He might now have some people he trusts to kind of, help him realize it,
Yeah,
but
it's like he said a while back in a Livewire interview I rewatched recently, because of course I did, that he would think of like a guitar melody and things like that, but there'd be someone else that he knew that could play guitar better than him, and maybe add some chords here or there that made it sound better. So like some songs became more of a collaborative effort, which I do think is helping more than hindering, because Impera so far is my favorite album, and I feel, but that's more just so on a technical side. I feel like
yeah,
everything technically works. So my favorite songs aren't from Impera, but overall as a whole, Impera is a whole product.
exactly. That's how I would put it as well. You can literally keep seeing the progression, especially technically.
Mm.
But yeah, like you said, some of my favorite songs aren't the most recent ones.
Mm.
Literally a lot of them are just like that very first album, but just because it was, they were just darker and more satanic lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, because I just needed to be satanic. It just whatever. I loved it. I love horror movies. Like
It's
that's
a
why
nice little garnish.
that's why we're kind of into it. And so I would love the mix of how technically sound and great they are now, mixed in with the throwing a little more satanic lyrics in there, a little darker, or a little more horror elements in there, and perfect, So it seems that this album will give us a little bit more light, but then I loved how they've described it as you progress through the album. it's slowly going into darker and darker avenues until you
Yeah,
finally get that last hope and or ray of sunshine that is always around the corner at the very end. So it's
yeah,
not like you completely just went to darkness and now you're just going to be like that. It's no, there's always hope,
yeah.
and it's eternal. So
And
love it.
also the fact that he said that this album in particular, Skeleata, is gonna be more personal. It's not gonna focus on like the plague or
Yeah.
empires falling. It's personal struggles like with Satanized, which has already kind of risen to the top as one of my favorite Ghost songs for so many different reasons, other than just it sounds good. Um,
Exactly.
it,
uh
it's it's a whole story, and I know some people who've had like religious trauma, and that song meshes really heavily with them, and it's nice to see like being able to go from like purely focusing on kind of a grander theme to one that beams in on feelings and personal emotions.
yeah, exactly. I think later in this article he kind of breaks it down, so I won't go on another tirade before we flip the page or go to the next slide, and it's like, here's everything you just regurgitated. So we'll get to that, but 'cause I like the way he explains it as well. But let's continue here. Now, with a new album on the way, the musician is ready to shift his perspective of chasing what's next and instead settle into the experience of right now.
Right here, right now. I've finally come to a point where I know we have this record that I feel super proud of. We have a great tour ahead of us, and I'm just going to enjoy that. Having been working with this Ghost project for 15 years straight, I've always thought of my career, the momentum, and the whole movement to be very elusive. The momentum needed to be constantly filled with content. I hate that word, but it's a word that people understand. It needed to be filled with meaning and as many achievements as possible before it was over.
Man, that's crazy. It's crazy to hear, 15 years straight, and boy has it ever been filled with content. Like, just
Yeah.
looking back, even of just the 3 or 4 eras that we've had, there's so much there. There's so much to dive into,
Hmm.
and like you
We've
said, filled with meaning. There, it's not just superficial
yeah.
stuff. I love that things have deeper meaning in everything.
It's really amazing to see, and yeah, with you saying like the amount of content over the 15 years, like they don't get mentioned that often. But before we had the chapters, we had is it the summonings? Um,
They had like propaganda ones,
well,
and then
yeah,
the summoning ones where it was mostly sister, right? Yeah,
yeah.
and before that was before the third album, and
Hmm.
then I forgot if there was another. There might have been one more that
I
maybe lasted a
I
video or
think
two.
for Terza, they were planning to do something for a live show,
Mm,
uh, ceremony and devotion, I believe. However, things with the lawsuit, which I don't know anything about, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about it,
yeah.
stopped that from happening.
Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense because
Mm.
I know, right here right now it's like it was the movie and everything, and then obviously you can get the vinyl. But like you said, we do have the other one that was also a live vinyl, if I'm not mistaken, right? The what did you
Ceremony and
say, ceremony
devotion,
and
yeah.
devotion? Yeah, which was another live one. Like you said, maybe I guess it does make sense that at the time they would have done something like it right here, right now. But I'm kind of glad they didn't, because
Mm.
especially
I
timing
don't,
wise and how big they got, I think the
yeah.
way it turned out now, they wouldn't have been able to achieve what he wanted to.
Especially with the fact that at that time, and I know there obviously was some law, such as the Nameless Ghoul talking about Terzo being a cardinal before he was Papa.
Yeah,
Um, there was some law, but I feel like only in the past, well, really 2 cycles, that being Prequel and Impera, has it really grown to be this thing of like we need to buckle down and focus on the story. So with a right here, right now esque happening during Terzo's era, there wouldn't be that much to focus on.
exactly.
It'd just be
So
kind of like an eras tour kind of deal where it's just like a recording of a live show,
yeah.
which isn't
Whereas
bad.
now this one was kind of like you started the whole chapters, and it's crazy to think that even the chapters have now been years. Like, there's they've already spanned years, and there's less than 20,
Mm,
and yet we've had years of them. but I like right here, right now, like every break was kind of like another like mini chapter. I
Yeah.
loved it. So that was great. All right, let's continue here. You might think that ghosts are offbeat and cartoonish, but Forge is achieving the unexpected. Following the glossy legacies of macabre bands creeping towards a double decade of ghostly impersonation, the project's effervescent, oh my god, with these words, they're just like they had like a freaking dictionary right
I
next to
will
them.
also say very quickly, because Ecliptic P just put in chat, see you later. See ya, bye.
Oh, oh my
I caught
god.
that one.
Oh man, yeah, I can't even look at it right now as I'm flipping through the slides. That it says
I
I've
hope the
missed
vocaloid music fest
41.
goes well.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, the project's effervescent throwback sound is keeping an alt community hooked on heady guitar solos and hair metal nostalgia, reminiscent of Kiss and newer Hellraiser's Slipknot. Ambitious from the offset, Forge is clear cut on his duties as a leading man and key curator of this otherworldly musical universe.
If you want to be super pragmatic, I'm technically a solo artist. I don't have to think in terms of a group, but everyone needs to understand that my job is a group effort.
He says, without reservation. He drops names of the greats, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. He credits the work of his teammates, but emphasizes that he's the soul of the project. Yeah, we kind of just covered
We
that.
just we just talked about it. The next page is gonna say "shut up." I can feel it.
I just said with the other guy was like, "See you later." Um, he's like, "Jesus, guys, you guys already gave us 10 articles before going through the one. Just chill."
I like
Hey,
to yap.
hey, I love it. Yeah, hey, I love that we get so you give us 3 sentences, we'll write like
Go
a
mile.
5 page dossier on it. So that's what we're here
After
for, man.
making the law videos, I take an inch, go a mile. I have to.
Exactly. Let's see. I'm gonna hop off now. I got some stuff to work on. Let's see. For a Vocaloid Music Fest. Huh. See ya. Oh, is
Yeah.
that the one you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Wretched Cooler says, I'm enjoying this. Hey, at least one
Yeah, we
person.
got the one.
Yeah, that's all we need, okay? That's all we
Wretched
need.
Ghoul in my gut.
Hope the rest of you are as well. There's 108 here. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you guys for joining this classroom session today. Let's continue here. Oh, let me take this comment off. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is yours.
We're a group working together, but practically, if the label is asking Ghost to make a record, they don't call a group of people. They will call me because it's my responsibility. So, as a creator and a writer, I don't think that there is such a thing as an end until the actual end.
Yeah. Yet the end of Ghost feels a way off. On full-length album Skeleata, Forge slips into a new, hauntingly intimate theme: humanity. Across high-pitched soprano choir boys and electric guitar-powered chords, a cataclysmic tale of morality and humanity, Jesus, ensues. Instruments sag in and out,
Segue.
drums. Oh, segue in and out,
I'm one of those people,
drums.
sorry.
Synths and strings crash in like a metal trodden prayer. The sharp tongue aggression of Ghost's spiky last album, Impera, is usurped by songs chasing optimism, love, and reflection.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is I definitely, if you compare a song like 20s, which is like, as I say, sharp tongued aggression, you're like, listen up, you motherfuckers. Those Ivy Leaf dopes, they want to mock us. To Satanize, which is obviously the only single we've gotten out of
So far,
Skeleata
yeah.
so far. It's so Satanize feels like one I listen to and I'm like, damn, this is hitting me more than I thought it would. Whereas like
Yeah,
20s just gets me like moving. I love that song.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. And the rest of it we kind of touched on that, he's kind of like the sole writer, not just obviously lyrically as many people would maybe assume, but also pretty much the band and stuff as a whole. He has creative partners. At the end of the day, he's kind of like credited with
The
writing the
Ghost
whole thing.
Project.
Yeah, which is why like when there's so much on this guy's shoulders, it's kind of nuts. With Skeleata, Forge wanted to stray away from the pitfalls of recreating the same kind of project twice.
There was an abundance of social and political commentary on the previous album. I completely stand by that record 100% and do not feel that there was anything wrong with it. But I definitely felt that I was not interested in writing an Impera 2.
He explains. The musician wanted to preserve the sanctity of each ghost era being easy to define.
I wanted Skeleata to become more of an introspective healing record, a new record that shone a light on the innards of my mind.
And I like that because honestly, if you have seen the progression of the albums, it literally just kept getting more and more grand, not just like we said technically and things like that, but in terms of like themes and what it
Exactly.
was saying. You even just see it in the progression in the album covers in a way where it went from like, the first one overlooking literally just the church. And then he
Yeah,
was hovering over
the Salem's Lot,
the Salem's Lot reference, and the second one was kind of hovering now over like the
the
whole
Antichrist.
Vatican. The Antichrist and the Vatican. So you kind of
Yeah.
went from a church to the Vatican, and then it became cities, and then it became then Impera was talking about the rise and fall of empires. I like that now. We can kind of it's almost like a soft reboot in a way, if you think about it in those terms. Other than the what he said here, now you kind of go more smaller scale. It's introspective. I like that because it's like, oh my god, you're gonna get planetary next. Like, how can you
Yeah,
just keep growing?
Planet
So
Satan.
he's just about to grasp an entire planet on the album cover. Um,
It was definitely, because as you said, it was like slowly growing and growing in scope. For it to kind of go from, as you said, rising and fallings of empires to one guy, some guy having a crisis of faith between love that he feels a demonic possession and his faith. Um, it's such like a tonal whiplash between albums, but it works so well.
yeah, it really does. And man, it's like almost every decision he's made so far, like at least for me, it's like he hasn't missed so far. So there's no miss for me. And even if maybe like you said, there's some of the songs on the newer albums are my favorite, I kind of get why he did them. I get the theme of them. Like you said, even if it's something as like, okay, at least it gets me moving, or
Yeah,
or whatever, or I like this hook. It's you can kind of find positives in everything, and as a whole, none of the albums so far have been a miss. But I'm really interested to see
exactly.
how this one kind of plays, because they're really every article and every things that I've listened to the whole album, they really do say it's like you can kind of it's almost like one of those, what do they call them, the concept albums,
Yeah,
where you kind of told a story throughout the whole thing. It's kind of making it sound more like a concept album, which is really cool.
it goes back to the theatrics of Ghost that we were talking about and how it's like even the albums are grand in scale.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Okay,
my
if
god,
anyone
it's so hot. Sorry,
will like
damn.
if anyone can get away with naming a song after Oscar Wilde's infamous jail letter, I'm not even going to try to
De
pronounce that.
Profundis Borealis.
The Profundus Borealis. It's Ghost. The song meanders through Bon Jovi style lyrics, accrediting the highs and lows of life. When tomorrow comes, you will know that the morning thaws the ice. While Forge didn't pull from the Irish poet, the album exudes a connection with humanity and character. It cascades from start to end like a rhythmic epic journey, one that aspires to philosophize humanity, but feels more like a pantomime-esque odyssey.
I've mostly described the record as one about being human. Life isn't always great. There's a non-deliberate, self-inflicted sense of unhappiness that we have subjected ourselves to because we have somehow got the idea that life is supposed to be 100% positive.
Forge says, reflecting on the album.
Life is, unfortunately, a balancing act. where good and bad is a pendulum going back and forth. And that's something I'm guilty of not intuitively feeling all the time. That is a very natural part of the struggles of being alive, and it's perfectly fine.
And it just goes with what we were mentioning, how like that's exactly how they've been describing it. He just said it's more introspective. It's like what was on his mind, and he just explains right there. You're not always feeling good. You're not always feeling bad. It kind of swings back and forth. So half the album, it starts a little more positive, and then it ends up shifting a little more dark. Yet you can see at the very end, as he's described, that it's about to shift back to a positive at the very end. So it'll just
It's
keep going back and forth like a pendulum, like you said.
exactly, and it's like the copious speech during If You Have Ghosts during Right Here, Right Now, of like sometimes you have good times, sometimes you have not so good times.
Yeah.
And it seems like I don't know if Perpetua is just like backstage being like, he's spitting, I gotta steal this for my album. But it is nice to see something like that on such a grand scale, being individual songs. And someone said, I don't know how to pull comments up. Winter Lilac 18. It might be the perspective of one guy, but it resonates on such a large scale, which I
Oh,
think
here
is
we go.
absolutely true. Thank you.
Yep, exactly. And so like we said, he hasn't missed so far. So it's like I trust his judgment. And unlike other bands, like he has said, where it's kind of been a group effort, you know, everybody puts their mind to it, you know, something like one of my other favorite bands, you know, Metallica, you know, it mainly like Lars and James, you know, crafting it. The other ones maybe started adding things here and there, you know, in most recent years. But this one's kind of like one guy, he comes up with, all right, this is the whole theme, yet it always kind of especially these last two. Like you said, I'm kind of done. You know, you know, you had the one with the Black Plague,
Yeah.
which kind of then all of a sudden we had the coronavirus. Now you had the, you know, rise and fall of empires that people started to take politically. He's like, let me just, you know, let me just think internally. And now this one I think is also going to resonate with people now that, you know,
Mm.
are starting to maybe be like, you know what, the world is starting to be too much.
Mm.
Let me just focus on myself. So it's funny because he's still in tune with what a lot of people are currently thinking, you know?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and it's wonderful to see and not get bogged down with repeating the same statements over and over again, which I feel like some songs can feel like the same song over and over again.
Yeah.
Whereas with these songs, it seems to be something new, and as you said, one being heavily political, which Tobias said it was, to this one just being more about, as he says here, life kind of sucks, but it kind of doesn't suck on occasion.
Exactly. Oh man. All right, let's continue here. Compared to previous albums, Ghost's new direction may feel more open ended, but it remains steadfast to its jaunty metal roots. Forge knits together a track list that taps into the intricacies of humanity, centering songs on intense feelings. With Skeleata, the singer shares that he aimed to create a thorough and easy to follow narrative that could appeal to all listeners.
Making a record is a very dynamic process where you might start with just a blank paper, but I'm not like that. I need to have some sort of direction, theme, or a concept that I'm working with, otherwise, the box that I need to think within becomes too elastic.
He says,
It's like being an artist and looking at a blank canvas. Art could be whatever you want it to be it excrement or the Mona Lisa. I need to have a concept. So for this record, it was going to be introspective, naked, simple, basic human subjects: love, hate, despair, and acceptance. They're easy subjects to understand, but hard to grasp fully.
and I love that so far. That's how he kind of said, if you step back and kind of look at the different songs, he kind of almost, you could even simplify them to that, like satanized. He actually said that's, there's love. It's actually
Yeah.
a love song. It's about
Mm.
the fact that you feel what the feeling of love to somebody that's super religious and is like in that setting that we saw in the music video, like a monk. He
Yeah.
might think it's a demonic possession. Oh, I'm you know,
Oh,
I'm Satanized, like I'm, you know, and then the
yeah.
priest is like, oh, we got to exercise you. But he said at the end of the day, it's
Mm.
just, it's love. That's why, that's
It's
how
who
you
you are.
feel. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's a wonderful thing, and in Satanized it was shown really wonderfully. Especially as like in some religious settings, like feeling love for someone that you shouldn't, in the religious sense, of course, whether that be or just feeling a certain way, because it can also mean internal love,
Yeah, exactly.
like coming true to oneself in one way or another. And I think that's why Satanized hits so hard for a lot of people, especially me. That song got me bad.
Obviously, there's little parts in the video that you're like, yeah, I don't think this is love. I think this is lust. Like this
Oh
bro is
yeah,
he, he's just an ankle sets him off.
fiending for some ankles. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think you're in love with that ankle, bro. You need to chill.
he wanted to rub his bald head against it. Sorry.
but it's like, see, that's why I can't be a monk, bro. Um, all right, let's continue here. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done with the article. We promise.
Oh yeah,
But hey,
with the article.
and
Then
this,
there's the
like I said, this
rest.
isn't even a cover story. Like this thing was, I was like scrolling, and I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, okay. Um, all right. When Forge approaches an album, he has his rock head on. Wow. But lately, he's, he's
I'm not saying anything this time.
that's yeah, like you said, the belt there's a little low. Rocket. He's been intrigued by the sliding nature of pop music. Encouraged by a crew of close friends who are pop mixers, the metalhead has been dabbling in the world of beats and new styles of production.
When you make rock records, everything is about how heavy the guitars are and how big the drums sound.
He explains. Enthralled by the flexibility and diversity of pop music, the singer found a new scope of sound that could inform Ghost's dynamic palette.
In the pop world, it's different because there are no hard rules. The ensemble in pop doesn't have to be drums, bass, and two guitars.
He adds,
Most of my collaborators work professionally within the pop world. There's this great marriage that we have where I get to curate a lot of the rock aspects of the music because it's sort of technically my thing, whereas they are my sparring partners when it comes to the entertainment. Enthuse me, make my mind get blown away.
honestly, I love hearing this. Some people might not like, just hearing that. Oh, we have pop influence in here, but I like how they broke it down like that. Where in the pop world, like there's no real, set thing. Whereas, like you just said, in rock, you think of it like you have drums, bass, two guitarists, one's a lead, one's a rhythm. But maybe it'd be cool, and maybe you get more interesting sounds and at a certain point, like they've said, like every chord's been used, every song has kind of been written. You know,
Yeah.
maybe it is good to think outside of the box, where most rock artists are not going to go and go dabble in the pop. And it
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you're gonna, all of a sudden they're not gonna sound like Taylor Swift, but it
Well,
just means you're thinking like, how can we use what the tools we already got, and maybe in different ways, and not be so strict on it has to be like this, and this. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm willing to try it out. I mean, 20s
definitely.
was already off. He already used like reggae
Hmm.
for for something like that, and that didn't turn out too bad, right?
It turned out great. I think 20s is one of the most unique songs Ghost has made, and it's so much on the more positive side of that because it doesn't have to be this race of, oh yeah, my song's heavier than your song,
Yeah,
uh, which I feel like with Ghost, especially with some like metal elitists, where it's like, well, it isn't heavy enough. I don't care. Does it sound good?
yeah,
Which once you start infusing, it's like cooking. Once you start infusing different spices into a thing, um, yeah, sorry, I think about food. Um, uh, it, it starts to become this like wonderful thing. Like maybe you don't want chicken, maybe you want steak or something, like just something different. And I love that Ghost just isn't like a metal or a rock band. It's this variety band, which I feel like
yeah.
it's kind of always been. Especially if you hear like Kiss the Go Go right next to Pinnacle to the Pit.
Yeah, exactly. The different shades. I love that one band. Like honestly, if you just prefer a certain era, a certain album, it's there. But I love that they basically have in a way different flavors. It's like what do you like? Or you could be like us, that we're like, maybe one day I do feel more like I want to listen to Opus. This
Yeah.
day I kind of feel like I want to listen more to Impera.
Yeah.
Because do I want to be at work and for 10 hours of my shift listen to just super one heavier song after another? Like, and then you just get heavy, like you said, like my song's heavier than yours, like progressively just keep getting heavier. Like, that's
Hmm.
also just going to bring me down, man. I need to get, pendulum, like take me up, bring me down. But
Yeah.
so it's maybe too much of one thing is not good either, Let's have a variety.
Yeah. I'd love to see Papa Pink Pony Club.
Oh man, that was great in your most recent video. Oh,
Thank you.
all right, let's see. Now, if you go online, you'll read plenty of things about ghosts, rumors of Satanism, blasphemy, and
Heresy.
allegedly, I know, right? It was right there, and allegedly corrupt lyrics. Corrupt lyrics. What the? It's no secret that the nearly 20
Like
year old band,
religiously corrupt, I presume.
it has a shtick to uphold, one that pulls on religious inspiration and has a knack for very dead, sensationalized characters. So you can imagine the
Elizabeth.
feedback. Yeah, well, I love that song. When they dropped their full throttle new single, Satanized, in early March, what do years of being tagged a devil worshiper do to a musician?
I've learned through practice to deal with it. Throughout my ghost career, there have been annoying misunderstandings and misconceptions about the whole concept of the band, but that plays into the whole concept of what I'm writing about, the clash between realities.
Forge says. Let's see. However, the musician wants to make one thing clear: he doesn't condone violence.
If a song is called Satanized, it's not about being possessed. Satanized is a song about being in love and how it feels like being possessed by a demon if you're religious. It's about being overtaken by this force that makes you unable to control yourself as if there's some other creature inside of you that's dictating your body and mind. It is very much like a demonic possession. I'm not talking about ghost fans, but if people think it's about actual possession, it's not a problem unless they get violent. I'm writing songs to entertain you, and if you feel like that song is about something else, that's cool.
Yeah, like we said, you can see, like, even like we talked earlier, play on words on,
Hmm.
Dance Macabre. You can see it this way, you can see it that way. Sometimes, sometimes I don't want to know the true meaning of things, or like an art piece, because like this art is subjective, and it's just kind of like what the stereotypical, like, well, what does this art say to you?
Yeah.
Um,
It's like
some,
learning how the sausage is made. Sometimes you just don't want to know.
yeah,
I'm
because
going
it's
back to the
like,
food references. I'm not eating today.
I know, right? Yeah, like, did you eat dinner?
I've
Um,
been at work, buddy.
God, I'm
No.
already looking forward to my dinner because we're like 7 hours apart. It's like
Yeah.
now I'm like, make that dinner. Um, um, but um, but yeah. Oh my God, now you got me that food in my head. What's happening here? Um,
First Ghost Historia mukbang is gonna happen. 5 years
uh,
too late.
but yeah. I literally just lost my train of thought. But whatever we were saying, I'm sure it was 100% correct. Uh,
It's about. It was just like sometimes you don't want to like know the meaning behind a
oh yeah,
song,
yeah,
especially if it can be like songs about like not necessarily violence, but something really dark when you just want to be like not in a dark space at that moment.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
I like that. It's like I said, sometimes I don't want to know because I like first to kind of piece that puzzle together myself. Like, this is what I think he was going for, but then I do like to compare the notes. Like, okay, well, what were you really saying? Oh, okay, but he's saying, that door is open where you can still see things in other ways. Those angles are still there. Just don't get violent. As long as you're not, it's good. You can look at things anyway, and obviously, that's it's not always just about Satan. Like, it's always a play on. Like, I love that song right there. It's a play on how the love makes you feel, and if you're
Hmm.
somebody super religious, like, I love he compares it to, you feel like you're possessed by a demon because that's what you're taught. You're taught,
Yeah.
basically love is the work of the devil. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. Let's see. The scrutinized lore of Ghost. I wonder who scrutinized it.
Oh no. I'm
Uh,
sorry. I ruined the lore
be,
for everyone.
can be a double-edged sword. While audiences can awkwardly misconstrue the dramatic intention of the project's art, Forge is openly grateful for the many fans, over 7.3 million according to Spotify, that listen to the band online and turn up to shows. In fact, it's Ghost. Oh my god. Dedicated mine, I'm gonna die. Dedicated fan base that
I get the
resulted in the
channel.
record-setting success of their lore-inspired movie, Right Here, Right Now. So, with a new album out and a tour on the way, Ghosts have set a new project in motion, one dedicated to diehard fans. Thank you very much. A graphic novel. Round of applause.
If I had all the time in the world and no economic hindrances whatsoever, it might have been cool just to just expand on that story in film format. So in film, we're alluding to what we call the episodes, and that was a parallel reality that goes alongside the band, which has been going on for a while. Now that has been developed into a graphic novel.
Which first issue of I think we both talked about it, behind the scenes.
Hmm.
We loved it. It's
I enjoyed it
brutal
very thoroughly.
because
Yeah.
actually a lot of people, like, in my comments even today, or my second to last video where I touched upon his statements that the lore is ending. Um, People are like, well, that's fine because all it is fart jokes, and no, like, if you this brand new piece of content that we now have in another medium, it's actually very brutal for anybody that thinks that when
Mm.
we say the lore, it's just like, it's always just this comedic, chapter videos and everything. Like, no, like, I love that this comic is just went as dark as it did, and it surprised me, man.
Yeah, it goes back to Tobias has had a lot of Star Wars esque parallels already with like Perpetua, um, like the back of the Skeletar uh, album art with the track list being the
Yeah,
Emperor's throne room. It's like the Star Wars thing of like one thing can be a comedy, one thing can be grim dark, Force Unleashed kind of deal, like where it's like really gritty and taking itself super seriously, and the other thing is like Pogs.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
except here it's like brutal murder and watching a 55-year-old Italian man go ugh when seeing a cross.
Yeah, yeah, you're right on the Star Wars references all of a sudden. Even during some interviews, people pointed out he was wearing, and I saw it, a Darth Vader ring on one of his
Hmm.
hands. So it's like, oh my
I
god, I
want
guess
that ring.
I didn't know he was really that much into it. But I mean, it is very influential, and like you said, in terms of also managing lighter and darker elements. You don't have to just choose one or the other. So the fans that only think that all the lore is comedic, if you're only going by just watching chapters,
Hmm.
um if you really dive into that and even the music video, you could already start to see the more serious elements. But I really love it is front and center when it comes to the comic so far.
Absolutely, and I can't wait. I need more.
In a way, Ghost's upcoming novel feels like a secret, like a rare expansion pack map you buy in a video game.
They've
It
never
is
played a video game once in their life.
it is tailored, Jesus, to the interest of the fans because Forge wanted to create something that resonated with the group's listeners and connected with them through a different medium than music.
A lot of our fans are into comic books, and I think even some fans have made their own. But now we are finally making ours. This one will be telling the story about Sister Imperator and where she comes from.
He says, in that way, the graphic novel adds yet another layer to Ghost's new, expanding world.
I think that deepens the understanding of the human aspects of what I was explaining in the album. The graphic novel also has quite a large slew of darkness and trauma in it. So, in that sense, it's also very human, which I think is very important for a holistic understanding of how I regard the world.
And there we have it, guys. That is the full article from
Really?
Rolling Stone UK. Yeah, it just it kind of abruptly.
There's no like send off. That's
Yeah,
damn.
that's literal. I checked thrice, and that's the end of the article. I was like, it kind of sounds like there would be follow up, but no, that's his last quote. I love that we ended on the comic book and how that's it's kind of like a love letter to the fans, and how the comic itself kind of expands on this theme of this era right now for this album. Has darkness in it and trauma, and it's very human. So I love hearing all of that, man. But yeah, that's the
End of the
article,
article.
and these are the images. And only other things I have are some people commented on my video when I showed the images, like certain things that they kind of initially thought of when looking at the images. So like here we have a Vladimir that said that winged look reminded me a lot of Les Vampires. I'm most likely butchering that.
Les Vampires.
Les Vampires from Les Miserables. You're right. From 1916, which was also the album cover for Tribulation's Children of the Night. I always love when Ghost incorporates the retro horror, and I can definitely say Papa 5 looks so freaking badass. And man, yeah, I looked up these images and I'm like, I might have to watch this film. I'm kind of into, old silent movies and old horror movies.
I recently just finished watching the original Nosferatu. That was great. That was a really fun trip.
Yeah, I still prefer that over even though the remake was great. I like Robert Eggers, but the original was still God, freaking creeps me the hell out. I just think silent films in general creep me out, man.
There can
Like
be a
even
lot
if
more
they,
tension there.
yeah,
Nothing ever breaks the orchestra or the silence.
Yeah, for sure. And then so thanks to Vladimir for that one. And then the Norwegian Ghoul, Phantom of the Opera meets Dracula. And I actually found this image where I guess in very rare occasions during the Phantom of the Opera itself, apparently sometimes he's depicted with wings. I never knew that. So put that image there but yeah, it does seem like Phantom of the Opera meets Dracula, and we've already said how big of a fan he is of the Phantom. I think in a recent interview he said like that would be the one character he would like to play.
Really?
He would love to play, yeah, because he kind of says like I don't know, he's been so in love with it. That's something he does is I don't know if it's aspired to play, but he would love to. In terms of any like thoughts, in terms of is there anything like that you would love to, he immediately went to the Phantom, and I think he's kind of doing it right now with this Papa 5, introducing the mask. So
I have a confession. I've never seen Phantom of the Opera, any of them, once.
Really?
Yeah. I know about Love Never Dies because I believe it was Lindsay Ellis video just kind of rolled on, and I was like, cool, I'm going to watch this review of a sequel through a musical I've never watched. And I was like, I think I had the flu at the time, so it's all a fever dream, and I'm not sure most of it. I don't think any of it was real. That video could be fake, actually.
Oh my gosh. Up next is actually one that you kind of recommended that initially popped out to you.
Yeah.
And that is from Midnight Mass. I swear, anybody in the chat, if you guys haven't seen Midnight Mass, go watch it. It's an amazing show.
I would say, sorry, I really don't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing that a lot. Very sorry.
That's all good.
Midnight Mass combines religion and horror in such a wonderful way that I feel like it's like an intoxicating kind of sense while watching it. And like there's all this like friction with different characters for different religious beliefs, like the sheriff and one of the woman whose name I forget. And it's an amazing show made by an amazing director. I do recommend it wholeheartedly to everyone here. Go watch it. That's your homework.
Yeah, for sure. I was already looking forward to it because I had already loved Mike Flanagan's work previously
Yeah.
on not just Netflix, but adaptions he had done of Stephen King's work. But like you said, it really like, oh my god, like I was like, wow, it, like you said, it was a perfect mixture of religion and horror, and even the vampiric lore mythology, where the way it presented it, I was like, wow, I had literally never seen anybody depict vampire mythology in that way. And if you were somebody overly religious, it kind of speaks parallel to satanized, where
Mhm.
if you're in those shoes, this is I you would see how this guy would have seen that for anybody. Let me put it up on the screen what we're talking
Spoiler
about.
alert.
Yes, yeah, spoiler alert, we're just gonna ruin the whole damn thing.
Your homework is
So
to watch this thing you've never heard about anyways. Full
you
spoiler territory.
watch it anyways afterwards.
Absolutely.
But their
Damn.
depiction of the vampire mythology, and the fact that when he was presented, like when he was confronted with it, it was an angel to him. Because
Hmm.
when you read the description of an angel,
Be
it's this
not
winged
afraid.
creature, this this seems like a supernatural entity. And honestly, they freaking surprised me where I was like, wow, yeah, I guess if you're, as a super religious as he was, that's how maybe it would be presented to you, how you would see it from your point of view. So that I found that fascinating.
Absolutely. It's all done so wonderfully, and I like how we've kind of dovetailed this into a midnight mass review. I'm actually doing a rewatch of it at the moment.
Oh my
So
god, so no
this all
wonder.
happened perfectly. Yet again, Tobias Forge knows me personally. I don't know how he does. He knows where I live.
Oh man.
Um, yeah, watch it, and I will watch. If our homework is watching Midnight Mass, you have to watch Phantom of the Opera. We'll do Wretched Ghoul. I will. I promise.
We have D Gamer 09, absolutely loving the dynamic you guys have together. By the way, Chronicle, glad you're back. Can't wait for the Skeletor. So yeah,
It's so weird seeing like a bunch of people, not to like be like, oh my goodness, it hit me. Be like, you're back. It was like the first comments when I uploaded because it didn't really hit me then. Like, well, it hit me at that point that like, oh damn, people watch my stuff. Don't
yeah,
give Ken new things to watch. They'll make me watch it with them. I will, Aurora. I will. You like Hannibal?
and
You like Midnight Mass?
and then another comparison shot where we're getting really spoilerish and behind the scenes on the show. So yeah, if you wanted to know what a naked vampire looks like, well,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
uh, you just don't let everybody just cover the bottom portion with your hand on the screen right now. Um, but I just thought the wings here, like, very reminiscent. I love it, when they're folded like that, of the ones he's kind of
The
holding
kind of
right.
like opaque as well.
Yeah, so I was like, seeing the behind the scenes one, it really made it apparent, like, oh wow, yeah, he's really, they're very similar when the wings themselves. So it's pretty dope. Now let me get this off the screen before YouTube's like, what's going on here?
Naked? No.
My God.
Head in hands.
But yeah, that's our presentation of the new images and stuff. Now let's kind of see if you guys have anything you'd like to, any comments you guys have, and yeah, any of that before we jump out of the stream. But man, I agree with the previous comment. I love this dynamic as well. I this has been a blast so far.
It's
So
been
thank
very
you for
fun.
joining me.
Thank you for inviting me. First time any other like ghost tuber. I'm not sure if that's like the phrase. I kind of started using it one day. Like invited me to anything, or even really got into contact, except for FX Lauren, who inspired me to make my first video in the style that I did. Commented on that video. So this has been a blast, and then thank you very much for again inviting me, and thank you everyone in the chat for being so wonderful, except for you, Aurora. You can burn.
What's going on with Aurora?
Nothing.
Oh, oh man. Let's see. Wretched Ghoul says, "It's like a Ken doll. Nothing to see here." Yes, exactly. Um,
No comment.
see. I really just Googled Australia comic store online and put Sister Imperator into the search bars. Maybe you can even find a better one. Fingers crossed. What would this? Well, obviously, I missed what the first part of what this was in reference to.
I
Uh,
think someone, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, please. Someone was asking Alessa how they got the comic. Where do you
uh,
watch Midnight Mass, by the way? Netflix.
yes.
Legally.
Oh my god. We have Gamers Gaming. Gamers Gonna Game. I'm 16 and going to see my first ritual this summer. Honestly,
You're
I have
gonna
to
have a
confess,
blast.
me too. As much of a
Really?
fan as I've been throughout the years, I've never gone to a ritual. Like for some reason, there's just life has always gotten in the way, and or I've completely missed it. Because now that I'm in the space and covering it, I'm kind of like keeping up with every little thing. But when you're kind of not, sometimes you don't really realize, oh man, my favorite band came like 2 weeks ago. Darn, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
No, I feel
but I'm
that big
definitely
time.
going this August. I gotta wait all the way to August, so you
I'm
get to
seeing
see
them
it
next
really early.
month.
I know you need it.
I'm seeing the first show of this world tour, and it hit
Okay.
me a very random thought the other day. In Right Here, Right Now, and Hill obviously brings up that he recorded 3 songs, and that being The Future is a Foreign Land being the last one, and Kopi is like, I can't learn that right now. But then Hill hints that the new guy will.
Uh-huh.
So this world tour, we might be hearing The Future is a Foreign Land live, which
Definitely,
I
yeah.
hope they play it when I'm there. I really bet.
And I wonder how it's gonna
Only hope.
happen. Like, is he just gonna play it, or like that? Is there gonna be some, how they always do it, like some kind of story? Like, why is he playing? Why are you wearing wings? Just who cares? Okay, it's happening. Um, but who knows? Maybe and now I'm one of those. But story wise, how's that gonna work? Um, yeah, he could just be like, well, let me sing you one of the old songs of my father, and that's
Hmm.
how it'll work. But
I
hey,
think because in the music video for it, there is a tape of him recording it that went to Imperator. So I imagine like the law reason is like he found the tape, and Nihil was going to teach Copia eventually anyway, but he's not the
yeah,
frontman anymore. So the other son, the other mystery son, gets to learn it and perform it live.
the person who has the most employee of the month awards in the
Yeah,
in the clergy. I love that because I love that I was able to call that back because it's like if Copio was the second, so it just like once this is all out, we really meet him, we hear him talk and everything. I would like to know how far back was this kind of like planned, for Papa 5, because I kind of think it kind of everything's pointing to him being not just the final one, but the one we've
oh
been
yeah,
kind of building to for years, where you can it like that. If we just go back, we can see maybe seeds were planted here and there with, or that's what early 2018, 2019 when that chapter came out, when it's like, oh, he has the second most employee of the month awards, and it's like, well, who has the most?
in my little law or theory headcanon interpretation, I've always interpreted damn British that the number one was Salutarian because he
Oh,
is like
really?
he's always the guy. He's always the one that kind of shows up, does his thing, and then disappears.
You're right.
And I have my own little theory that I may or may not be working on a video on of a potential backstory or parallel to Perpetua, which I haven't. Well, I've tweeted about it. So if you see my Twitter, then video ruined. Um, I almost went to pause this live stream like I was watching it.
Oh my god. You were just gonna pause yourself.
It needs to happen.
You're like,
Yeah,
don't spoil. Um, but hey, that's that. I never looked at it that way, but like that, like we've been talking this whole stream. It's you can look at things. How does it hit you? You know, I always thought they meant like somebody, a mystery person, not Solitarian. But I guess we'll
He
find
was
out.
a mystery at the time.
No, you're right. You're right. He didn't come in until later in the chapter. So
Till Homecoming.
yeah. Loki. Oh wow, Loki. Thanks for stopping by. Perpetua, biggest Star Wars nerd canon. Uh,
Real.
let's see. Surely you two get together and read Sister Imperator 2 for us when it comes out.
I'm down
I
for
would
that.
love to say yes. You know, we'll
If
do
the
it.
schedule of the line.
Yeah, because the problem with us is we're 7 hours apart. So because I'm like impatient. I mean, maybe I'll wait for the next day. But for like if you wanted it like we did it the last time, like the moment it goes live digitally, you know, we're like reading it all together. That probably can't happen because it'll probably be like 5 in the morning where where Kane is from. So 5 or 6 in the morning, something like that.
I could set an alarm. I did stay up until 5 in the morning to watch the satanized live stream.
Oh, see, so there you go. Maybe. So I guess we'll see as long as you get the cup alarm, cup of coffee, you know, maybe we'll do it. We'll work something out.
Yeah, if I'm not falling back into my 8-month-long hiatus again.
Yeah, right.
Where I script 7 videos and all of them fall through.
Oh my god. Jeez. Like when does that second one come out? I think it's the 5th or 6th of April. So we're actually like right around the corner, 1 or 2 weeks. I think we're about a couple weeks away. So, I wonder if they're gonna do the same thing. You know, drop another single when like along with the comic again, or who knows?
I'd like
Maybe.
that.
Yeah, because I like that double billing on that last time. It was kind of fun.
I didn't realize they launched at the same time. Well, I bought mine physically. So I think it was just difference in appearing.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see.
Fun. Like I voice some characters, you voice some characters.
That would be fun. Honestly, this one worked kind of good where you did the quotes and I just read the narration. That was pretty fun. Let's see here. Thanks, guys. Irene says, thanks, guys. Really enjoyed this. You are great together. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Irene.
And I think so as well.
It's been very fun.
James Jordan, when do you expect the next single to drop? Do you have any educated guesses?
I'm not sure if it's going to be a single, but I believe with zero actual backing that something's going to happen on the 25th or the 26th. Because it's exactly a month before the album releases and 20 days before the tour starts. It's either that or when the Sister Imperator second comic drops.
I guess
that would be almost right next to when the tour starts.
So we could actually be just wow. What is today? Today's the 22nd. Wow, we could be a few days away, guys. A few days away.
A few days or a few weeks. I could be lying.
So take this to the, take this
grave.
to the bank. Yeah. So Chronicle Ghoul says it's coming out in 3 days. He said chisel it in stone. That's what's gonna happen, baby.
If I'm wrong, you all get my IP address. My full docs.
Wretched Ghoulhead, this was fantastic. I hope to see more lives with you both. Me as well.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Absolutely. It's been very fun.
Sad face. No, it's time to put the pendulum the other way.
It's because I told her to burn.
Oh, yeah. Let's see, where do you watch it? Netflix. Let's see. Definitely gonna watch Midnight Mass after it is amazing. It's great. If you guys like other Mike Flanagan shows, and I honestly think it's his best one, but if you like The Haunting of Hill House, the couple of the other series that he did on Netflix. Bly Manor, The Haunting of Bly Manor. And the most recent one, I forgot what it was. It was like a modern reinterpretation of Edgar Allan Poe's
Mask of the Red Death, was that the one? Or am I thinking of a different one?
The House of Usher.
The
House of Usher. Which was great, by the way, but it was like more of a modern telling of it.
That's interesting. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's his newest one that he did after Midnight Mass, and it was still really good. But Midnight Mass to me is still his best right now.
I love Midnight Mass. I love horror so much.
Let's see. My ritual is April 24th. You think I can buy the album at the merch booth if it comes out the next day? Probably
Mm,
not. Uh,
no, it'll be
I don't
cool.
think so. Yeah. Yeah, that's you're at the ritual and it's still going when the clock hits midnight, and they're like, technically, it's
It's
midnight.
out.
So now
Could you
you guys
imagine
can,
actually do something like that?
rush to the booth, but I doubt it. Hey, at least you get you get to go to the tour, and
The
then
double barrel,
and then the next day you get more ghost again. So double injection of ghost. Oh, wow, and I will never say that again.
double injection of ghost.
Um, what location?
For
Let's
going to see Ghost, I'm going to go see them in Manchester.
and I'm sadly in the saddest state in United States, in Arizona. So it's all desert. It's hot here. It's cold. This is how different we are. He's cold. He needed a
I'm so
blanket.
freezing.
I'm
I have
hot.
two on me right now.
I have
I was
everything
shivering.
off like that vampire, and I got nothing down there. So
Kendall like.
we are polar opposites right now. Bruh, my ritual's in August. Mine too.
I stay
Mine's in
winning.
August. Let's see. I am thinking that too. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Let's see. Can't wait to see The Future is a Foreign
I
Land. I'm
really
going to
hope they play it
cry
live.
if I hear Future is a Foreign Land live.
Sam.
Mona Lisa, are you going to the Texas shows? London on the 19th. Take my 16-year-old grandson. Oh wow,
Lovely. I hope you have a nice time.
that's awesome. And it's awesome that you're a grandparent that is good with this music, because I've never met one. I mean, you just try to introduce it, to anybody, and it's like, oh, you just like that devil music, and you're into the devil. Get away
Yeah.
from it. So it's
Yeah,
hard.
but
It's hard. It's hard to introduce
it
it
can
to.
be nice to have like family that, even if they don't fully understand the thing that you're into, they appreciate it and they appreciate that you're into it.
Yeah.
And it seems that Irene, you're into it, and that's fantastic. My dad isn't into Ghost, but he's so supportive of the videos and the band. He he recommended a video idea to me talking about Hitman Blood Money, because he was like, "There's a level in that's very Ghost-like. They have like masks that look almost exactly like it." And I was like, "Father, you're giving me ideas."
Oh my god.
Chronicle going senior.
Alyssa, maybe it's my father used to sing this one like they do with Mariana Cross. Yeah, it could just be something as easy as
That's
that
true.
for the oh, apologies. A lot of rituals in August. What's happening here? Everybody, I thought I was gonna be by my lonesome. Proxy is also having to wait till August. Joanne, that's my birthday, August 16th.
Wonderful.
Proxy's going to the Denver show, August 7th. Nice. May the 4th be with you when you
Always.
go to your first ritual in Milan. So take your Star Wars merch. He might point you out because he's into Star Wars.
Might throw you the ring.
Hit you in the head with it. You'll forget the whole experience, and then you're like, "Well, this is why I should have had my phone."
It only comes to you in a dream.
Oh my god, I'm this whole phone thing. It's like I'm cool with it, man. It's like I'm there, like when you're at most events nowadays. That's what happens. You see most people around you like
Just
enjoying,
pulling out
or
their phones.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're living you're looking at it through your phone. I'm like, I could have done that at home if I'm just gonna stare at a screen. So I'm completely okay with them. And then hey, it's better for them. He enjoyed it more, where he felt like he actually had people's attention during right here, right now. So hey, it's just going to be that much more engaging. So that's good.
Yeah.
I had Bar. Oh, I'd always thought Neil had taken the most employee of the month award.
He is a bastard, so it is possible.
Oh my god. Oh man. And then she's gonna scold them in the next chapter. I'm going to Houston too. Let's see. The second comic comes out on my birthday. Hey,
Happy birthday,
congratulations.
Mona Lisa. Are
Speaking
you
of that,
smiling? Are you not? Who knows?
oh man. Just depends how you look at it. Yeah, I'm super
Just
excited
like
for that second one.
satanic.
I know it's all connected. It's circle of life. Um, yeah, I'm so excited for that second comic. So hopefully it's a good one because the first one was. And who is the dang demonic figure on the cover? That's my biggest question that I want answered, and I want to meet this character, who I am guessing is the old one. So I can't wait to be proven correct.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I just want to meet some of the older entities of the clergy, like
That have been
beyond
mentioned and never
sister.
shown.
Yeah, my father's father and his father,
His father.
and his father.
I
Um,
do choose to believe Nihil was lying out of his ass for that. Like it's him. It's him and his potentially brothers.
yeah, because that's gonna be crazy to see how many retcons are we gonna have. Like, was
He's
that
George Lucas in
100%?
it.
Like, was it?
He's adding stuff here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, because I'm like, was it always his bloodline? And was that true? Like, could you take that as face value that it was always, his bloodline, or did he barely get into it when Sister got him into it? You know what I mean? Like the music video kind of shows. Whereas,
I choose to believe that music video is more Copia's imagining on how they met. Because of the 80s influences everywhere in the video, and Copia would have been growing up in the 80s, like when his most formative memories happened. And it's like how some music videos are music videos, but some are lore related. It's a whole thing.
you could
Like the
be right.
Spillways one has no lore to it whatsoever, but the Dance Macabre one, depending how you look at it, that's exactly how it
It's just
happened.
like,
Or it's an
yeah, it's like, oh my
interpretation.
god, like a broken record now.
Yeah.
People are like, shut up. But y'all, any other ghost headcanons?
Oh, I have like a small cute one. I like to imagine this before the whole retcon. That obviously Secondo and Copia are half brothers, but Secondo is a lot older than Copia. So when Copia was little, he looked up to Secondo because obviously he hates Terzo's ass, but he looked up to Secondo, and that's why in the future he has like a mustache because he wants to replicate that person he looked up to so much.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna piggyback off of this and add an expansion pack like a video game, and say that, but that's all he could do was a cheap imitation because Segundo never liked him, because who Segundo really liked was Papa Five, who's the kid at the end of the Year Zero video looking like Jeffrey Dahmer. And that's who was actually, he was kind of mentoring Papa Five. So Copia's like like nobody.
The copy.
Yeah,
Copia.
yeah. So the one we've been actually leading up to this entire time is Papa Five, which is he is he the little kid? Is he the baby? Is he the Antichrist with the mask on the cover of Infestissimum? Who knows? My God, it's like, who's that Pokemon? Oh my God,
It's one of Nihil's sons. It's one of them.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
How many secret sons does that man have?
Jeez, oh man. She left, and he's like, "Well, I guess I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing then." And he just
Sister of sin. Over here.
We need that gap. I need this gap, whether it's in comic or something. There's a huge gap between they're like the 70s to the Primo finally came out with Opus. It's like I need that gap eventually before you end the lore, Tobias. Fill in that gap, please.
I have my own little. That's another headcanon. Now that we're on headcanons, that is after the apparent retcon. If he didn't just misspeak, that like if Secondo, Nihil, Terzo, Primo are all brothers, Nihil, because Terzo and Secondo have different mothers, we know that for sure.
Yeah.
Nihil knew his father cheated, but because he was so young, that became a learned behavior. Like, that's not wrong. That's just the way of the world. Even though that is wrong, and he does know it deeply, which is why he does get that. He does it and then feels the immediate regret when it happens. Not making excuses for Nihil. I kind of hate his ass at times, but like, it could be an interesting character moment.
Yeah, that's and actually you brought up that point that we were kind of debating behind the scenes. We're like,
God,
that I got
Pablo.
flack for from some of you guys that might even be in the chat. Um, don't be so serious all the time, guys. It was a funny anecdote, and I made a video about him misspeaking about Papa Nil, sibling to Papa's
One,
one,
two,
two,
three.
three. But who knows, guys? What if he kind of slipped, and maybe it's something the comic is gonna reveal? What if they are part of that circus that we got introduced to at the end of the
I'm pretty
first
sure we
issue?
see all four of them at the end.
Yeah, and it's like, do you wait? Hold on, just a
If
minute.
you open up the comic, if you can, do you know that guy that's like something like, wait, hold on, I have my comic here, so I can read it physically.
And
I
I
have to
could
move
try to
all
pull
my.
up the image.
Oh, it's a race. I need to get out of its
So
cover.
everybody chat amongst yourselves because daddies are working. So
Never call me that again in my presence. Anyway. The guy that says, I hope she doesn't consider herself too much part of our family, where you see the ghost twins. I'm pretty sure that's Nahil saying it, and the four brothers that the woman have, the woman that brings Imperator into the circus,
the
is,
redhead.
yeah, I think in order, that's Primo, Terzo, Nahil, Seconda.
You better stop. You better stop. I'm going into the comic right now and I'll pull it up.
They give Terzo a pug nose. That's what I was saying. Like, the art in this is kind of weird, but I like it. I like the comic. I mean, the art is like sometimes pretty good, sometimes a little strange in the face department.
I guess in the interview that he gave in the fanzine, so shout out to how do you say they were pronounced? Gunst?
Probably
Uh
Gonst.
Gunst. They actually got to interview the artist and the writer, and the artist was saying this because he wanted to have you really feel the expressions and the emotion of the characters without having to have like a lot of verbal vomit on
Communication.
the pages. It's just
Yeah.
communicating a lot of the characters, so they were very exaggerated at points, especially
Well,
like the stepdad and stuff.
oh, absolutely. I just mean like some of the actual like faces kind of look weird.
Oh,
Like if you
okay.
pull up Terzo, you'll see like, and also comparing right below that Sister Imperator's face, which looks great. Like the full shading and everything, and it doesn't have to be shaded to look great, but like the face looks good. Whereas Terzo
Okay.
like has a little pug nose. He's cute.
Okay, so this panel here you're talking about, I'll bring it up in a second. It's the one where
I'm reading
she
your
says
mind.
come on, and you see like the ghoul twins like in the way back.
Yes. Yes, it's that one.
Okay, let me try to bring that up and see if people agree that those might be them. Give me
Because she
one
mentions having four brothers, and if Tobias is retconning that they're four brothers,
retcon away, Tobias, so that everybody that was like, you're an idiot, I could be like, ha! Who's the idiot now? Let's see here. Share screen. I mean, it's most likely not the case, but we're just playing along here. We're
theorizing.
playing yeah. Just having fun, guys.
It's the love of
Let's see.
Ghost. It's the love of the game. Oh, that was fancy.
Let me take off this overlay that we got because it's making it kind of messy.
I
There we
think this is
go.
all of them when they were younger. I think that's supposed to be Primo, and then Terzo with the curtains that he gets when, near the end of his time as Papa, he does start to have a curtain hairstyle. Nihil with the shaggy kind of bob, or just shaggy hairstyle, and then Secondo.
Wow. It really could be. What do you guys think?
Because if she has four brothers and they've been retconned that Nihil and the other three are brothers, and this is the new law, it could be. I'm not saying it is. I'm just
See, that's
theorizing.
what I was kind of thinking. I was like, everybody is quick to be like, "Oh, he just misspoke." Obviously, we know he's the father of the three, but like we said, honestly, maybe a little retcon is not the worst thing. When, as you mentioned, Primo is so old,
Yeah.
and yeah, people are
So
like, well, if you say Nihil or Nil, that's another thing people get on me, how to say almost every video somebody tells me to say it a different way. I started to
Yeah,
say Nihil, and then they're like, it's not Nihil,
it's
it's
Nile.
Nihil or
Yeah,
Nihil. I'm like, okay. Then I said it like that, and they're like, what? It's just nil. The H is silent. I was like, okay, you know what, guys? Talks amongst yourselves, figure it out, get back to me, okay? Because we're just playing games here. You guys are just playing games with me. Anyways, if you say he's 90 and you can say Primo's like 70, you're like, see, he had him when he was like 20 years old. Okay, but like you said, that's just kind of like we're just reaching there, like come on.
plus Nihil gave his canon age at the end. Well, not at the end, in right here, right now, that he's almost 80. So like he almost 80, I assume, when he died. So he wasn't 90 when he died. He was almost 80 and he's dead. And Primo looks a bit too wrinkled. He looks older than Nihil, kind of.
Yeah, that was all messed up, bro. Oh man. Let's see. Okay, what are people saying? Okay, first of all, you can't please everyone. Thank you. Defend me in the chat next time, okay? Let's see you actually back me up.
Becomes a light night.
What nil equals nil? Okay, all right. I'm already confused again.
If I had to guess, like I do pronounce it Nihil, but it's probably Nihil, like nihilism. But I don't know. I just say how the word is
Or
spelled. I'm not
maybe
smart
just
enough.
nil, or I don't know, because
They all
they
say it
also
differently. All
had
the
that
characters say it
one.
differently.
Remember, they also had that play on words. I did one of the videos where it was like I made it like a mockumentary of the 1969 era when they did that pop up
Metal Myth
event with
Part
a lot
2.
of artifacts, and the Scooby Doo episode that was supposedly made was called. I didn't get it at first, and I was like, oh, because it said Scooby Doo and Friends 1. I think that's what it was called. Papa Nil or Papa Nihil. Like as in like Scooby Doo and his
Yeah.
friends 1, Papa 0. But yeah, I was like, okay, so was it nil? Was it nihil? All right, who knows?
And Metal Myth Part 2, I'm pretty sure they say it 3 different ways. So who knows? Tobias
Yeah,
does. He's just not telling us.
yeah. Next time, wait, what did he just say in the video when he misspoke? He said,
Papa, I don't remember. I
"Oh
don't
my
remember.
god, we have to watch it back."
No.
Papa Nil. I think he said Papa Nil. Sibling to Papa's 1, 2, 3. I think he just said Papa Nil.
It might have
And
done. It rolls off the
so
tongue easier.
I'll have to check it, and then I'll just go with that and be like, you know what, take it up with Tobias, and he's gonna be like, you know what, everything's ending now because you guys don't
It's
stop.
over.
This party is over. Anyways, Mona Lisa says, I don't know. I feel like we're reaching by calling them the Papa.
It might be. But that's the fun.
It could be.
That's the fun of like we're waiting for
exactly.
like it's like the Gravity Falls thing. If you're ever a fan of Gravity Falls or anyone in chat, you would make up theories as to what the next episode would mean or next thing, but it's just waiting for another comic. I might be reaching, but I don't know that until the next one's here.
Yeah, so because she's like, let me introduce you to my brothers, and that's what's I didn't get that initially, but it was like other subscribers that were pointing it out. They're like, hey, when she says like, come meet my brothers, do you think those are the Papas? And that's when I first started to think, but then I didn't go back and actually look at the panel like we're doing now, and I mean they could match, it could be, so who knows.
I do agree with Loki. Always imagined her was really short. He talks about that a lot. He talks about being a little short guy.
Mona Lisa says, yeah, he's too tall in this. Fun fact, Nihil's Latin and means nothing, so maybe he's just in our minds after all. Oh my god.
Well, he's dead now.
Yeah. Good
He's in
riddance.
Copia's mind.
God. Literally, Copia's just standing there. There's no Ghoul twins next to him. There's no Papa, Nihil, and no sister. She's not even there anymore.
Oh
man. But yeah, speaking of the twins, like the fact that it was that brutal and crazy of a backstory. And I also never knew if they were alive or dead. You know how they never really showed them ghostly until the most recent, I think, chapter 18.
Until right
Uh,
here, right now.
yeah, and then now we get this backstory, and they were her, her sisters. I know that in the
Copious aren't.
actual thing, it was Tobias Forge twins, but one's male, one's female. So I didn't want to like call it ahead of time in the comic, but the comic did it where the comic stated that both of them are girls. So um but yeah, that's just a twisted thing. And then I don't think she completely killed the stepfather there, and like in the present day of the start of the issue, even though it's not present day. But
I think she
uh,
got real close.
yeah, real close. But so he's still alive. We'll see if she actually finishes the job by the end of the comic. And but who cares? Show me the old one. I just honestly
I mentioned this to you before the stream, which was almost 2 hours ago now. Damn.
Oh man, I'm
If you
sorry,
go
man.
back, no, it's all good. I'm just looping back to something that no one knows what we're on about, apart from you. I have a little link between the comics and a potential link to the Mariana Cross music video. Do you know the Scooby-Doo style one? When she runs into the comic, in the bottom right, there's a tombstone that says father, and then you don't see the last name. Now, if someone just dies as a dad, they're not like father something. It's like father, like a priest.
Yeah.
What was her stepdad, a priest?
Let me see if I
So I
can pull
think
that up so I can show what you're
yapping about.
yapping about.
You'd be really embarrassed if I just read that wrong.
Let's see. Where was it exactly?
When they run into the graveyard the first time, so after the jump from the Hollywood sign, after they've dove into the lake, swam, Nihil looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about in the video,
Yes.
and then you're just linking that to the comic. Okay, I thought you meant like a panel in the comic was linking to the video. It was the other way around. Okay.
Yeah, I think because obviously the comic would have been written by this time, or being written currently, that it's like linking the two together in some way.
Could be. It could be. Let's see. I think I deleted all of them here. Yeah. Oh, speaking of all the speaking of all the dead folk,
Pocopia, man.
speaking of baby Papa 5, I'm just like going through the random slides that I have here. I was hoping I had the other cover arts. The second one is crazy, where sister, because she's the human cannonball, I believe is what she's gonna be.
Yeah.
At first I was like, is this Wonder Woman? Like, what's going on? But she's just being shot out of the cannon.
And then is it the third or fourth cover where she's like evidently heavily pregnant?
Oh
and
yeah,
she's wearing the dress, which is the same one that is black and white in the flashback scenes of Right Here, Right Now.
Oh,
so they've definitely planned it.
Yeah, and even in the initial cover, the first one, she's wearing the same green outfit of the music video for Kiss the Go-Go. Yeah, when she walks out.
I'm such a nerd. I've got it all just on lock.
Yeah. Man. And then the final one, that one's I'm more confused about that one. And it's pretty interesting, but there's no more demonic figure on the cover. And it's her kind of being like some man is confronting her, but the shadow of this person is like cross. So I'm wondering, like, it could easily be the stepfather, but it could be some, like, I'm wondering who it is. So it's just like, man, I can't wait to. And we're supposed to also get Papa. I don't even want to say it anymore. Papa Zero, also shown in the comic. So that's gonna be interesting to see, some of their relationship in the comic there. Let's see. Bar says, I think it's just foreshadowing that there are 4 brothers in her life in the future. Huh.
That could be true. We'll just have to see. Yeah, again, I know I could be reaching.
Enough about the new album. The interviewers need to ask the real questions. How do you pronounce Nihil, Nil, nihil, nihil, Negan. What is it? Oh my god. He said nihil, sibling to Papa. Okay, so okay, all you did
Nil.
was write it. We know how to spell it. How do
And
you say?
he pronounced it nil.
Oh, okay, nil. Okay, I didn't finish. I'm sorry. G Moran. I'm a moron, and I didn't finish the rest of the
Shame him.
shame. And then point.
That's what I did. I pointed.
Nil. So now I don't want to hear anything. I don't nil. I want to see none of it. No more. So it's nil. Okay. Tobias said it, and he's like, "Don't quote me though. Don't quote me."
The law's ending. Don't quote me.
Obviously, he's like, "But that's the quote where I misspoke, right? See, you shouldn't have quoted me. Shouldn't have quoted." No, that right here, right now, scene with Copia just talking to himself broke my heart.
Yeah, where it's like the janitor comes up
The
and
janitor perspective. Yeah.
he's just yelling at the
Yeah,
air.
in a way, he's all alone. The only living people in that scene are him and then the person that can't get in, which I deleted the slide of before I created these slides. The shadow of, Papa 5 on the other side of the door that can't get in. That's kind of crazy. Wow. Why you making it so emotional right now, dude? Please stop.
He's all on his own now, and what makes me sad to think about too is that like Copia kind of had to work for becoming Pepper. Like he had to be Cardinal first, and he had to be on stage, and he had to earn that. He had to earn the wings, earn his robes, and his, in the theory, twin brother, who's just come out of nowhere, is given all that stuff hands down. Better wings, better suits, better mitre, better robes. And it's like, exactly, it sounds harsh, but like they're shinier, they're glitzier, they're purple, but that's just my bias. Exactly, yeah. It's such like this clash of Copia had to work for that. Perpetua was just given that off the bat.
But you could tell Sister really loved him though.
Oh, she loved Copia.
You'll always be
little Cardi.
My little Cardi. Here are my handmade wings for you. Because I know your brothers. Yeah, your brother's probably gonna ride it in a motorcycle. But I got you this little thing. You remember The Shining? You like that? You'll be good. Oh my god, the difference on these wings here. It's like, bro. And I saw somebody point out, like on Reddit once, I think, where they're like, "Hey, if you guys want to buy these wings," and they were $2,500 for the top ones. $2,500. Where I'm like, what are the bottom ones?
All the budget for right here, right now, all of it, every cent.
Oh man,
they couldn't afford a belt. That's why it's so low.
This one has gone off the rails. This is amazing.
This is fun.
This is fun. We'll try to when we catch up right now. We'll end this. We promise. I'm just trying to
catch up eventually.
I'm like 10 off. I remember hearing from some girl that interviewed him that the comics are supposed to align with chapter releases, but I also could have misunderstood. Huh? Oh, you mean like issue 1? Oh yeah, because not only did we get the music video and the single release, we got the chapter. Oh, so the next chapter, according to that one random girl, might be the next release is what, the 5th or 6th of the next chapter. So that has to be probably the single as well.
Chapter. Do you reckon we're ever going to get Perpetua and Copia talking to each other? Like, I know that would be difficult, but Copia's, his head's a bit airy. Someone else can wear it. And Tobias just like dubs over that.
It's probably going to be because, obviously the chapter videos are like, they go down that humorous route. It's probably going to look like the cheesiest, where like the opposite stand-in in the foreground is going to look nothing like the back of Tobias. It's going to be like those cheap. But anyways, I've been imagining that little like the first because he's got to walk through the door at some point, right? We're still waiting. Copia is still waiting right there.
And satanized ends with to be continued.
Yeah. So
something's gonna happen.
Yeah. we got to get the next music video as well to be like actually Papa 5 and the Ghouls performing the song most likely, or whatever. Whereas this one
Spillware's like
was the other characters, and then they didn't appear till the very end, and then it says to be continued. You're like, no.
the fact that this Papa is already in his album cycle and tour cycle, and we don't even know what he sounds like, what his voice is like, is still so wild to me. Because normally they would like introduce themselves with their voice or say something. Whereas this guy, it's like he's not even through that door yet. I don't know who he is. He looks scary.
Exactly. And I love people like, now it's explained because why is this image still on the screen? It comes the Papa Forge like, just keep laughing at me. I'm so sorry. Here we go. The hands, they were like, oh, they look like girls' hands. Remember that everybody was like some people, some section of the fandom were theorizing that it was going to be a female, and now we know it's probably the gauntlet. That's probably why he can't open the door. He probably has the metal gauntlets.
I don't think that's the gauntlet.
Oh no,
they do look too thin, but I think he has Tozo-esque gloves made by Majesty Black, most likely.
Oh, okay.
That maybe have a purple and silver color scheme to them, because they're too thin to be the gauntlets. Because you know when he's like lifting his hand up and banging on the door, which is the same video, you would be able to tell if that's a gauntlet. That's a thin ass hand.
You're right. The gauntlet would be even thicker. Oh my god. Maddie Group says, do we think Papa 5 is related to Copia? Yes. Obviously, it's not confirmed, but all signs are pointing to it. We've dissected. I literally did a frame by frame of that flashback, like every single image that they showed, and I didn't even catch them at first. People ended up telling me in the comments were certain images were flashback to the year 0 music video, which I didn't catch initially.
Where he lifts his chasuble?
The hand reaching out to like the window, and yeah. So I think it kind of made I wonder if it's pointing to the fact that is supposed to, the kid in that video is supposed to be Papa 5. I wonder, because I don't think it's Copia. I don't know.
I definitely think that Papa V is definitely related to Copia. However, I do not think he's going to be called Papa Emeritus V, because we've already seen his name. The naming scheme for, and I showed this very briefly, I edit way too quick in my video. It would always go Papa Emeritus I, Papa Emeritus IV, and 0 for Nihil. It was always title, name, number. It randomly going to title, number, name doesn't make sense. So I have a feeling V more likely stands for something, because he's not even the 5th Papa technically, because there's Nihil. And sure, he's 0, but that's 0 in a lineage. You don't count like the number of every king when you count a king, or the number of every pope when you count a pope.
I guess we'll see. We're probably, Tobias is probably watching this like, see, this is why, you know what?
He's throwing eggs. He's throwing eggs directly at the screen.
He's throwing the fuck. He's like throwing shit around right now. He's like,
he's spitting on the screen. He's screaming.
It's gonna end. We ain't even gonna release the rest of the issues. It's done now. That panel right there, you'll never know who those guys are. It's done. It's done right now. I'm calling up Dark Horse Comics. Shut it down. Anyways, my God, he's his secret brother or something. Was a theory I saw. I love that. Yeah, he's his secret brother or something.
Actually, going off of that, if like it's the twins and Perpetua isn't the twin, that's kind of boring, because then it's like, oh, another mystery son, and like how many times can you do that before like the soap opera gets stale? Which I think is like, we already had Copia, who's a secret son, now Perpetua. That's enough. And then apparently 3 of his sons might not be his sons. I don't know what's going on. I'm tired. I was writing a script, and then he started doing things again.
Exactly. So we'll have to wait and see. To be continued as
Dev. So that's my friend, Salty Devil.
Oh, nice. I'll keep him company. Don't you worry. Oh wow.
Not if I get to him fast.
Oh Jesus. We
Damn
got a
right.
little competition going on here. You know what? Papa
Rivalry.
Nilch. Papa
Papa
Nilch.
Nilch.
Papa.
Papa Nilch.
The costume versus the costume we have at home.
Spirit Halloween. I'm pretty
Uh,
sure Aurora
Papa
said it's
Nilch.
pronounced Nigel.
Get
Papa
the
Nigel.
Get out of here. I'm not saying that. Oh man. I can't take myself to add a G in there. No, it's nil. We're not saying the H, we're not saying a G. Okay. We're saying 3 letters.
He's
NIL.
Peepaw Zero.
Oh man. The only thing he got was he was nominated for 2
2
Grammys.
Grammys, did not get 1. Oh, damn.
Ryu, can we just call him the old man and stop
That's
caring about
too
his name?
similar to the old
No,
one.
because
Too
then we're
similar
gonna
to the
get
old one.
confused with the old one.
Who's
Ryu,
only ever mentioned once.
Ryu, you need to stop, okay? Because in one chapter, I forgot what it was, 4 or 5, 6, I don't know. She got a call by somebody called the Old One. We've never heard them referenced again, but 3 out of the 4 comic
Old
covers
one.
for Sister Imperator, there's a demonic figure on the cover. That's obviously not going to be Papa Nigel because he's young. He's not wrinkly, and he doesn't have 2 glass eyes that are just
At that
white
time.
uh, at the time. So I think that's the old one. So no, we can't call him the old man because, especially in
Too
the
similar.
comic, he's not an old man. He's a young man. Quit adding to the confusion, Ryu. You're part of the prop. Okay, I'm not part of the prop. Copia got a movie. Perpetua got wings.
He also
The
got a
budget
purple
of the
suit.
movie. He's like, oh, you got a concert movie? Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna
He was like
get
a
an
monkey's
actual
paw.
Hollywood movie. I'm gonna get an actual narrative movie. You got a concert movie, little vignettes in the back. Watch me. He's like, watch me. We're gonna do things bigger and better next time.
Copia found a monkey's paw on the ground and he was like, I wish to have a movie. And the finger curls, and the price to pay was that the next one looks infinitely sicker.
Yeah.
Just way more.
And I use these wings in the movie. Yeah. Oh my god. It was a live stream. You promise I'll find it. Oh, it was a live stream.
I promise I'll find it.
Okay.
Mona Lisa responds with an I afterwards.
Oh yeah.
I see you, Mona Lisa.
Just Tobias talking to himself.
In the chapter.
The first tour concert is going to start off with Papa V coming through a door on stage. Oh my god, he's finally gonna. Oh yeah, open. Yeah, on your concert, the first one,
Yeah.
you're gonna see him finally open the door onto the stage and just perform. You're like, but what do you sound like when you're talking to your potential brother?
I'm still gonna find some way I can plan. Also, Copia, friendly reminder, is a gun owner, and because I think Tobias Forge knows me personally and hates me, I'm not convinced I'm not going to get shot in the head that tour. The first one he's going to see me and single me out.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. He's a total mystery. Perpetual not getting to the doors, foreshadowing his incompetence. Worse than Copia. I hope not. You can't get worse.
I miss having a spooky Papa. I don't want another constant.
Yeah, that's the thing. It needs to be the other side of the coin. Right?
Yeah, and also it would make a really interesting sibling dynamic of 2 guys that are twins but almost polar opposites.
Yes.
I love Copia. I love him so much. But he is.
And I'm glad he's not gone. I'm glad we still gonna get him in chapter videos.
God.
He's the head of this thing now, and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, he's gonna be so incompetent.
So oh god, it's just gonna be a trip. I'm seeing Ghost in August in Houston. It's their second to last show on the tour. Should I expect something?
If I had to guess, with the fact that they're doing no phone shows and they're kind of trying to go away from the law, I don't think so. I think they stopped doing things happening on tours in Terzo's era. Well, Cardinal Copia's era, because I think then they focused on the chapters more. Like you can see 3 years ago in the chapters with Homecoming, the budget went crazy. They got a way better actual camera movement. I think things are going to be mostly focused on the social media aspect of it. He might mention something lore related, but I don't think it's gonna go further
Yeah, I
past
think
that.
we've seen with how they unveiled him to begin with the whole chapter or the music video as that actual reveal.
Yeah,
I think it's now it's their reveals and stuff are now where everybody can tune in, to get to as
you don't
wide an
need to buy
audience as
a ticket.
possible. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Let's
very
just finish up
accessible.
here because we're at like over 2 hours now. Um,
That shows that we're going well.
yeah, we're just gonna. We still got 73 of you in here, or 74. Thank you so much for still supporting us. Hit a like if you haven't, so that would show us, you really liked what we had going on.
I think you
If
should go
not,
to
Tobias is gonna hit you with the hockey
hockey
stick. So
stick.
you better hit that like button. Hit that button
I
with the hockey stick yourself. Just bam.
I think you should leave a like on this video, subscribe to Ghost Historia, then go to my channel and dislike every single video you can see.
No.
Every
Go to the
single one, every
description
last
of
one.
this video where I have Chronicle's channel linked. Subscribe if you're not, and like. Don't double tap it because then you're gonna unlike it. Okay, so just hit it once, and then he'll be happy
Hit
because
you once is all you need.
he's gonna be right now just walking around his room pacing with that hockey stick, and we'll leave it at that. Let's see. The lonely rhino. Copia lonely. I love the idea he's Perpetua because he does not want to take Emeritus' name as a bastard son who did not have the support Copia had. I know, like, see, that's where it could be explained in a way.
An
So,
interesting way.
so we never know. I like that little
Mhm.
headcanon, you lonely little rhino.
I didn't see the name for a second. I thought you were just being rude.
Oh no, that's what they're calling
Yeah,
themselves. So.
that's a nice little headcanon, you bloody It's like, calm down, man.
Oh man,
Chill with Hostile.
Papa Victor Perpetua.
I do imagine it's a V name, but I
Uh,
don't imagine Victor for some reason. Or
oh
it could be
god,
like Victor Frankenstein, if the
oh
Frankenpapa
god.
theory is correct, which I'm personally not a subscriber to of that theory. But I do think it's interesting. I do think it's an interesting little theory.
Oh my god, these are still coming in. We'll I'll probably have to end it here, but
Oh!
I know we definitely got to do this more often because honestly, we could just sit here and chat, even if something
Skeletal.
seismic didn't happen. But we do have things on the horizon. We're 2 weeks away from a comic, which according to that some girl that interviewed him, it could be that we get a new chapter. So it's right around the corner. We'll have so much more lore and stuff to talk about.
I can actually
Before it
answer.
ends.
I want to quickly answer someone's question. Robert, what is that empty carpet in foreign chapters hack season? That was for Sister Imperator.
Yes. When everybody thought that it was for Copia, and even he thought it. That's why all of right here, right now, it was all about
Happened.
him fearing for his life and thinking like, this is it. I'm gonna die, whatever.
I'm coming to terms with that.
And yeah, and no, it was, basically becoming an introspective. See, the theme of the next album was already seeping through, even just in the right here, right now.
I love the multimedia facet of this band.
But yeah, it was for her, sadly, which it sucks because that's really the person who has supported him the most. I know a lot of these chapters are comedic, but like we said, if you look past the comedic stuff, there are layers to it. And like we were just talking about his loneliness, when you really you see it from the other point of view. I swear to God, broken record of the janitor, and you just see he's literally there by himself, already talking to himself, foreshadowing the fact that that's all he's really gonna do, because it's Tobias gonna have the only two characters alive in the next scene are gonna be him just talking to himself.
I think it would crush me if Perpetua didn't like Copia, because that's the family he has left. And that's
It
so
really is. They're gonna be such yin and yang. They're you might hate them, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like this. We're all that's left. Mom's gone, dad's gone. We could probably talk to him. Like the Force Ghost. There's the Star Wars connection. Everybody now is popping up like a dang Force Ghost. But it says, Wretched Ghoul, both of you are such goofs. Hey, you know what? We kind of talked about this beforehand. I know Chronicle honestly was a little. He actually asked that, and he's
Yeah.
like, "How? What's the vibe of the stream gonna be? Is it serious? I was like, "No, man. This is super relaxed. It's how I like to do it because we're all just hanging out. I like that we can hang out with you guys. It's been literally a conversation, not just between me and Chronicle, but us and you guys. So
Hmm.
it's been such a blast, and I know some things we'll take serious, but for the most part, let's just have fun. Let's just be open to everybody joking around, whether it's in the chat
Yeah.
or even us. Because yeah, we're probably gonna say stuff that any fan that's super serious, they might get offended, but we're just having fun.
Having fun. And I feel like there's not really a YouTube ghost social circle. Like you have ghost Twitter and on Blue Sky you have ghost Sky
Yeah,
Instagram, but on YouTube it really just is the comment sections, and like other ghost tubers don't really upload anymore, which is such a shame. Like FX Lauren doesn't upload anymore. I think the other one is just another sad teenage Zoomer. They don't upload anymore, which it's a shame. So if we can provide some sort of social setting on the biggest video sharing platform in the world, that's wonderful.
exactly. I mean, this is like you said, it's the biggest platform. It's bigger than those other ones, and there's still such a I don't know, you don't get the connection where I feel like even though we can't hear your guys' voices, for some in a way, to me, you guys are heard better and like we can have more of a conversation here than if it's even in the comments of our own videos. I don't really feel those are really unless it's a super long thread, which is very, very rare, they don't really feel like
I love those.
conversations. So yeah. Um this today and even the first one I did by myself, this has felt like, all right, this is what I want to do, is like have conversations with Ghost fans. So yeah, we'll do this because like I explained it to Chronicle, it's a cool place where fans of Ghost can gather with us. Where else are you gonna get this vibe than if you were maybe just going to your first ritual or a ritual or concert and meeting
And
other
this is
fellow fans.
free.
Yeah, no cost, but if you guys we keep increasing, and we're not gonna get to your comment unless you send in that super chat, and then it
Oh
will
God, no! If that happens, I'm
cost you. Okay,
if that happens, I'm deleting my channel.
99 cents. No, I'm just kidding. No,
99
we're
cents. A penny more, a
we're
penny less, you get banned.
no, we're gonna try to keep this where we can, but yes, like obviously in the future, if we don't get to your comment, we apologize, and yeah, maybe if you did like a 99 cent super chat, we'll for sure read it, but we're trying our best to keep this free and keep up with everybody. But it's been such a blast.
Trying our best to keep it free. We're actually going to paywall the rest of SKELETÁLK.
Yeah, so if you like
Yeah,
this, just know that come with your wallets next time. That's
50
all
quid
I'm
per
saying.
episode.
Whatever quid pro quo. Yeah, yeah, quid pro quo is what I always say. So
Quid pro quo.
cough it up. That's what I'm saying. Winter, we're just kidding. It's
50
gonna be
British
free.
pounds sterling, or it's your knees.
It's gonna be free until it's not. Winter Lilac 18
Tomorrow.
says, "I love." Just I don't know, live in fear. Yeah, I love the idea that Skeletalk becomes a regular thing.
Satanized, more like
Yes.
terrorized.
More Skeletalk. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Especially right
great.
now. I mean, and in Chronicle once again, clapping emojis because you came up with a name and wait, Slelatalk. Okay,
SKELETÁLK.
Wretched Ghoul, you're getting banned. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
I'm
for
not
coming up
kidding.
with Skeletalk, that was amazing. That was you came into the
It came to me in a dream.
then you DM'd me and I was like fire emoji, rocking hand like they have right here. And yeah. So at least for now it really fits. If it has to change in the future, it'll change. These two channels have the best ghost content I've seen since the Gospel of Ghost podcast.
I've not heard of that podcast.
I was about to say, I don't know if you if that was like if it's real. I haven't heard of it, but um,
It's probably real. That's great.
and yeah,
I
thank you
love
so
learning
much.
about new stuff. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
And who knows? I'll have to probably look it up so I have more things to listen to myself
Mm,
when I'm at work. I got to fill in 10 hours a day. So
same.
uh, Mona Lisa, y'all are now my two favorite ghost tubers, and I like that now ghost tubers is a thing too. So
Ghost Tubers.
hell yeah,
Wonderful.
man,
Thank you.
hell yeah, and thank you, and yes,
I'm very gracious to all of you that um, support Skeletalk and also Ghost Historia. Um, it's really wonderful to see this like everyone coming together.
yeah. I mean, like, where are you kind of getting this anywhere else? I really think you're not. You're not. Even other channels that are really big and in another language that I do speak. So shout out to Ghost in
Ghost in
Espanol
Espanol, yeah.
and other they're kind of like me. They upload a lot and things like that. But there really isn't anywhere else that you're really getting them just talking to you like this. So not wanting to put anybody down, but I really think we have a good we found a good little niche here, and
Hmm.
it's cool that you guys like it as well, not just us. It's not just a one-way street here. We're twisting your arm to be here.
If you're not here the next time, we're banning your account, not just from YouTube, from any social media you have.
Oh my god. It is awesome. I don't have many people that can understand my enthusiasm with ghosts, so this is like a hangout spot. And that's a really great point. I honestly have nobody else that I can talk to ghosts with besides my wife, who I more bother with it, and she has to put up with it. It's in the contract.
Hmm.
So even though she's like, oh, yeah, I'm excited to go. Um, yeah, it's like, no, these are my people.
Hmm.
And yeah, I like that you joined me, so I'm not here talking to myself in an echo. I'm not like Copia. Oh
You're
my
just
god.
talking to something that no one can hear.
Yeah, in an echo
I might
chamber.
not be real. Everyone gaslight Historia right now. Right now.
Oh my god. Creative Caitlin, it's so much fun. We can all chat and share our love and theories. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Share your guys's. Who cares how crazy they are? We're just having fun, and I like the saying, all our theory crafting and whatever we say is, speculation. Just don't make it your expectation. I do that with
Mhm.
movies. I speculate before I see a movie, but I make sure that when I walk through the door, I'm not taking all my speculations with me and being like, they have to deliver this. No, we were just having fun beforehand. Whatever the product actually is and they want to deliver, I'll take that as it is, but let's
Yeah.
just have fun before we get there.
Just enjoy everything as it comes, whether it's a theory or definitive law.
Exactly. Or retcon.
Yeah, everyone enjoys those.
Enjoy the retcon. Regigal is saying this is my happy ghost hangout place now. So honestly, glad you guys liked our first episode. So this is great response. Like I said, if you haven't already, hit that like button with Tobias's hockey stick. That sounded very, very bad. As it was coming, just with a hockey
Hit
stick.
it with Tobias's hockey stick. You know what? Just grab him and slam him.
Oh my god. Oh man. Dude, I didn't notice the typo. Oh my god, I'm that behind. Wow.
You're
We're
almost
almost
caught
there. We're
up.
almost there. We're almost there. Loki best live stream since Bible Talk with Jim DeFrock. Okay, now
We
it's
should
just gonna
start
be. I
talking
mean,
like Jim
this is the
DeFrock.
best live stream since this and this. Since it's just like, what else can you come up with? Oh my god, the next one, best live stream since the
Billboard. Oh,
Okay,
brilliant.
now you guys just have to continue that trend. That's gonna be amazing. It'll be on
Ooh,
a T-shirt in the future.
the next one. Imagine Ghost and Lordy taught together. That'd be amazing. Like hearing I forget the name of the song, but Lordy's song. Is it just Rock Hallelujah? Is that one? Hearing
Oh
like
yeah.
Tobias's soft vocals contrasted with the very heavy vocals of Lordy would be fantastic.
Jeez. I think this tour, if I'm not mistaken, they really don't have anybody, right? It's just like just them. There's no openers. There's
No
none.
openers. It's just them.
Just
Which is
them.
like
So
all that time is spent changing his costumes.
hey, I'm up for it. That's why I'm like,
For
dude,
it.
we're gonna get a show. You're gonna get a show, and then
Yeah.
you won't be able to show me proof because you really did. You were a good boy and put that phone away. Um, but sneak in some, slip a little something in the DMs. You know what I mean? But yeah, uh, Jesus, this is how you know we've been going on for way too long. Your salty devil, come together
Together as
as
one.
one. Oh my god.
Come together for Lucifer's son.
I love Ghost in Espanol, but I still feel out of place there. And I speak Spanish, and hey, they've been friendly. I've talked to them in like DMs before as well. And they've been they've been really nice. Uh, but yeah, I just everywhere I saw there was not a hangout spot. There's nobody doing a live stream. Like people would make videos, but nobody was doing a live stream. So I'm like, hey, me and Chronicle, we're gonna fill that hole. Um, how did you guys meet?
No comment.
We literally just met today, yesterday?
Yesterday.
Uh,
Our first call was half an hour before
we
we started the stream, and it immediately was just clicked here off. And yeah, this is our first conversation, and we're sharing with all of you. That's why you've got to pay premium.
99 cents. I actually was trying to get, because that's what I've been trying to do. I was trying to actually reach out to other creators because this is the idea that I had in mind. That I thought a live stream with not just me, but like having a 2-man team or 2-person team, sorry, would be really good for the community, but nobody really either thought it was a good idea or even like reached back. But I basically reached out to Chronicle, and honestly, I'm glad this is the one.
My only one hang up was like time, and because we're 7 hours apart, but works out pretty swimmingly.
Yeah, pretty good. For me, it's still before dinner, and you, it's
25 past 10.
Yeah.
The midnight hour.
Oh, good.
Not yet.
Midnight hour, close at hand. But yeah, very last minute, and we were initially talking like, this is something we should try, we could do, but then the news dropped today, and we're like, so we're doing it right, and it's happening in a few hours.
I'm pretty sure what happened was like I woke up, I went to work, and I got the idea for the name SKELETÁLK. You made the logo, which is fantastic, mixing the two fonts together. And then we saw that the photos of Perpetua dropped, and we were like, oh, I sent them to you on Twitter. And you're like,
yeah.
and
it was,
you tracked them down.
Yeah, because you sent them, and it was somebody taking a picture of the magazine, and it was like, what magazine is this? And then I found out it was Rolling Stone, but they didn't clarify Rolling Stone UK. Thank you very much. I was at Rolling Stone US, and they're like, "Who's Ghost?" And I'm like, fuck it. No, that's why I don't.
I ain't ever heard of a ghost before.
yeah, but Mick Jagger, shut up. So yeah, it was Rolling Stone UK, and I found the digital version. I didn't even have to buy it because I'm subscribed to this thing on my phone called like Apple News, and it just gives me access to pretty much every magazine out there that I type in. And I was like, there's no way. Rolling Stone UK. And I had it. I was like, okay. Newest issue. Oh yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. I was like, thank you, Apple News app. Thank you. Let's see.
Works out perfect.
Let's see. Do you know a band called Dogma?
Can't say that I do, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was like, it might sound familiar, but I don't know if that's the movie I'm thinking of with like. So, but I've never heard of the actual. Let's see. Enjoyed this. Ta-da! Dogma mentioned. Okay, so Dogma has.
We got to get on this band, damn.
Yeah. I was just
Rebranding.
thinking, this reminds me of the conversations I've had at rituals. I love this. Thank you both. Exactly. But
Yeah,
we're gonna have this way more often.
that's the plan. I think the plan was originally like when something drops, but if it just like kind of, if there's such a natural back and forth between me and you, Historia, and also us, and the people watching and contributing, it all comes together just to be a nice social place. And I think a cool thing to do would be like posts, like maybe every now and again, where it's just like theory post your headcanons, fanons, theories.
Yeah.
And we can go through them and talk about them, discuss them, and it's like a group thing.
Exactly. So we'll talk about it behind the scenes, but whether it's we get on a set thing like either every 2 weeks, once a month, every week, once a week, whatever. We'll figure it out, and yeah, we'll bring more Skeletalk to you guys.
Yeah, between work and time zone differences, and possibly going to a ritual in between.
It's gonna work perfectly.
I think so.
Let's see. I wouldn't mind being. Oh God,
Same bestie.
Oh man, right? I swear, last time you guys were dirty when the song was the song we were watching the video. Oh no, I don't know if it was before the video or the video was dropped. Somebody in here, they had a Ghoul, but it wasn't Wretched Ghoul, so I won't say it was you. But somebody, man, they're like, my taint is ready, and I was like, geez, hello. That's what I knew is time to bring the liquor out. We're gonna have a party in here. So I was like, hey, okay. And then somebody was just feeding me tacos, so I'd like that. They would just would just put emojis of tacos, and I'm like, yes, keep feeding me tacos. It would just be more and more tacos in the next message. It was just it was crazy. But all right, let's really finish it off this time.
Been scrubbed to both of y'all, so I'm happy to see this. Thank you, Proxy 500.
just feeding me tacos. Yes, somehow they knew They're like, I knew you speak Spanish. Oh my God. Tate mention. Hey, we can end the stream without a Tate.
Every stream gets 110.
Yeah, just one.
Just the one.
But guys, I think that's gonna do it. It was such a blast, and we'll let you guys know in post and stuff when the next one is. It could be a couple weeks from now when the comic drops. Maybe they'll announce something else, like, oh, new singles coming out this day or something. But we'll let you guys know. But this was such a blast. So thank you, Chronicle, for joining me.
Thank you for letting me come and say semi-provocative things about vampires.
Oh man. But thank you guys, especially thank you guys in the chat, everybody who's like continued to comment right now. At some point there was around like 120 of you guys here watching us live. So for our first Skeletalk, and without something huge, like it was just it was just a magazine article.
An article.
Yeah, so
and it spiraled into 2.5 hours. That's a movie.
I know, and even right now, even as people start to go away, it's still 57 people here. So that's still more than I thought on an initial episode of this. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, that will be it from us on our first episode of Skeletalk, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you then. Bye-bye.